Hello. How's everybody doing? Happy Sunday. I almost thought it was Saturday again. That's bad. I get too confused on the day, and I can't even explain why. Maybe it's just freelance life? I don't know. I'm never gonna know. It's just always really confusing to me. I don't know. Who's here? How you doing? Tell me about your day. How's your week? Hi, Serenity. I just realized I didn't clean this up. So we're gonna do that real quick. Sunday. Today is a great day. Hi, Dragon Wall. How you doing? Similar to last time, I'm gonna start from scratch. So you're gonna just see me do my template and all that stuff. We're not gonna do anything too crazy, but you know. Let's see, I'm gonna switch my music. Just get to it. If you catch me looking in front of myself, it's because I'm used to the camera being there. I moved it because I thought I looked too much just like an egg. Because I think last time I was wearing a hoodie and it just made me look like a football player. Like, just, there was no contour, nothing. I was just this mound because of my hair and it just connected. It was bad. So I was like, I have to figure something else out so it's at least a little bit more visually interesting, you know? Anyway. You'll understand when you look like a hash brown. It's okay. And maybe the hash brown thing is technically only an American thing. Because I think God, Gabe and I always fight about this. There's one, can't remember if it's McDonald's or Burger King, or even Arby's. I think Arby's has the triangle ones. And I think Burger King has the capsule-shaped ones. McDonald's, I can't remember. Maybe McDonald's is a triangle too. Anyway, I don't know if that's just an American thing or not, but if no one knows what I'm talking about, that might explain why. It's McDonald's? Okay. McDonald's is capsule. Okay. Oh, also in Australia? Really? I'll be damned. I know in Australia, they call McDonald's Maccers. Gabe has a Australian buddy. He always calls it Maccers. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. I like that. Oh, Safi! Hi! How are you? I like what you're doing lately with the stained glass pins. Those are going to be dope. Oh, really, Megan? How many of you like Sundays better than Saturdays? I'm always open to switching my day. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Every day is exactly the same in terms of, like, should I stream or not? Hi, DM Dennis. Now we have both Dennises in here. So I'm going to say Dragon Wall and I'm going to say DM Dennis. Hi, Alex. Thank you for stopping in. No one feel obligated to stay here or anything like that. It's the weekend. Some of you only get today and yesterday, so go do your thing. Hi, Cavendish. Okay, so Saturdays probably still keep it. Dragon Ball like Saturdays. Oh, Minnesota. Oh, I miss my state. Was it beautiful? It's kind of the beautiful time for Minnesota. The Dennises. So many Dennises. Should be a band name. Too many Dennises. Dennises? Dennisai? Is that the right? Do you guys prefer your plural to be Dennisai or Dennises? Or Dennisises? Dennisises? No. 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 Please. Okay. So here's what we did last week. We did that. Still for sale. on my site if anybody wants it. It's up there. Cloverkin.com/originals. There's a few up there. They're expensive, but they gotta be. It's art. It's expensive. Come on. I was outside a lot of yesterday for as much as I could have been, and it was really hot out. It was like 85, but the humidity was like not even there. So it was actually really nice in the shade. So I was out there with the dogs. Oh, if any of you are my patrons, check all the things. Check your messages, check posts. I had to say a bunch of crap. So 2 of our printers died, the only 2. It was really weird. One died before we moved, and the other one died after I got done with the Curious Collector tier. But if anybody here gets Clover cards, they're going to be late because we have a new printer coming tomorrow because both of our printers died. We actually have 4. 5, actually, 5. But one needs to be fixed. The other one is a laser printer, not an inkjet, so everything doesn't exactly look right. So there's that. The other one is a baby laser printer. It's really cute, but it's meant for just like documents and crap that's not art. So I just want to be completely transparent if I ever mention I have 5 printers and you're like, but 2 of your printers died. Well, that's why. So tomorrow we're getting a new inkjet. Granted, the 2 that died, they were kind of old. They were old and they kind of crapped out a few times where we had to fix them up. This time we might be able to save them, but with how Patreon stuff is, in fact, I'm already kind of late on stuff because of moving. I can't take more time to fix them and then print, especially when I don't exactly know what's wrong. I know I can fix them. I'm like 80% sure I can fix them. But I need time. And what does Ashley not have? Oh, time. That's right. That's right. It's time. Anyway. Missing you the past weeks. Oh, Cavendish, I miss you too. Oh. Denizen. Maybe they're denizens? Denizens? No? Okay. Deny. Deny. Yeah, Minnesota isn't as cold as people think. A lot of the time, especially in the spring, we would get like, I remember this one day when I was 13, I was playing outside with friends on a trampoline with a hose, and it was like 80, it was great. The next day it snowed. That was spring in Minnesota. But summer's like anywhere else. I moved to Illinois, and it's almost just like Minnesota, a little less pretty, but it's just a pinch hotter. But the weather's still kind of similar. So I see all these people like, Illinois weather's like this, Wisconsin weather's like this, Minnesota weather's like this. It's Midwest weather, y'all. It's all like the same, you know? Anyway. So there's this. I was thinking today we'd do something cute, which isn't different. But I was thinking thematically, we should do something Mother's Day themed. Because I was reminded by a calendar that Mother's Day is next Sunday, right? Yeah? I don't know. See, Gabe's family doesn't really celebrate it, and my family rarely did. Plus, my mom's dead, so it's like we don't even anything. I'm not a mom. I'm the age I should be a mom, but I'm not a mom. I'm a dog mom. And sometimes if we feel like it, we'll celebrate that. Whatever that means, right? Dog mom. Anyway, but I was like, you know, since other people celebrate it, and I like the idea of kids. I'll be honest. I do. I think the idea, the like glorification of what a child is and means and all that stuff, that's cool. I like that. I don't like the idea of having my own kids and yelling at this tiny thing forever. I mean, it's like pets. Pets that grow up and get mad at you. And anyway, I don't want anything to do with that. So I'd like to keep the idea of children as pure as possible. So we're going to do that. But we're also going to turn them into animals because you know where you are right now, right? Okay, good. I don't have to explain myself. I need my drawing glove though. My drawing glove is so I don't smear things, but it's also because your girl has sweaty hands. Okay? That's how it goes. Hi, Fire Seal. How are you? I'm super excited to see the background you come up with. Me too, Dennis. Me too. DM Dennis. Mother is the right-hand man of Satan, so I just sent her a text as a courtesy. That's safe. Keep her at bay. Yeah. You don't want to be on the good side of that. You don't want to be on the bad side of that. You just want to be, like, neutral. You still have a Game Boy Color. I saw your story about that. If you ever want it modded, Gabe can help you. It says Gabe mods Game Boys, you know. Alright, can I, like... Are you gonna fall? No? Oh, come on, really? Oh no. I made it worse, you guys. I made it worse. There we go. Okay. Good start. Real good start. It's one of those days, man. It's one of those days. Anyway, I thought today was gonna be like yesterday in terms of temperature and all that, because it was like, on paper it looked good. On paper it was like, oh yeah, 85 again, and like no humidity. And I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be in the shade like all day. Humidity got demonic, so there's that. Not doing that now. Damn it, are you kidding me? I have to sharpen a pencil. Hold on, it's loud. I'm gonna mute it. Oh, we're good, Fire Seal. We're good. You can get, you know, the Game Boy carts pretty cheap on eBay. If you need to buy a new one, you're probably good. Weird question. Oh, here we go. How do I get my roommate, who's a lady, to stop picking up dude hitchhikers to drive them to places? Ah. Well, let's pose this to the room as well. Anybody else want to weigh in on that? Let's do that. I would just usually be smart about that and not do it, but I don't like to tell people how to live, but I'm almost thinking she's gonna have to find out the hard way, but that's bad. I mean, if you've told her and she won't do it, yeah, I don't, Dennis, I don't know, man. Ugh. Hitchhikers to drive them places, like, she picks up a random guy or a friend she knows. Bear sprayer mace. Yeah, that'd be a nice, yeah. I'm really surprised though that she would even, random dudes on the highway. No. I don't know how you tell someone not to do that. That just seems like either girl or guy. I don't even know. Yay, cat! Thank you for the sub. Oh. Maybe, oh, here's a kind of idea. If you could talk to anyone she trusts to tell her to do it, then maybe that would work. You know, like if she has a sister or a best friend or something. I mean, granted, if you're her roommate, you're probably one of her best friends, I would guess. And you should be able to tell her that, but I don't know. That's ugh. Oh, bye Alex. Thanks for coming. I mean, she could... Maybe she wants the excitement. Maybe it's a rush for her. Alright, I was gonna just draw a mouse mom and a mouse daughter picking raspberries. I don't know, though. I feel like that might be too me, too on the nose, too expected. But I haven't even warmed up today. Maybe I should warm up with something. I'm gonna do a bunch of things over here with a different thing. Oh. Take away your car keys. I mean, it is an insurance risk, I guess. I mean, what you want to do with your free time is fine, and as long as they didn't bleed themselves dry, your blood's what you want to do with it, right? Maybe each person had a different tone of blood. I don't know. It's strange, but who are we to knock what other people want to do? I would be afraid if that portrait ever got damaged, though. I'm more scared of the implications of what that would mean in a voodoo aspect. But that aside. Hobbies are hobbies, right? Right. As long as it's not hurting anybody that didn't want to be hurt. That's a tough one, too. Streaming's weird, you guys. You get some really weird stuff happening on streams. Oh, Kat, you're welcome. Yay. Aw, you did it yourself. You would have eventually done it. You're driven. You would have eventually got there. You're smart. You're resourceful. I just maybe helped push you. I don't know. Maybe I showed how easy it is. I don't know. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Well, no. You know. But you're welcome. I'm happy I helped you at least. You know, that's the kind of stuff that matters. That's the kind of stuff that matters. Oh. I actually really like it, Dennis. If anybody ever wants to ask me anything weird that's not, like, inappropriate, technically, just because this is recorded, whatever. If we're in person, go for it. But any questions are fair game. We are going to talk about Patreon, too. I put that everywhere on social media, and I am not following through with that right now. So let's kind of touch on that. Give me some Patreon questions, though. Has anybody here got burning Patreon questions? Pros and cons, and then a funny story. I'll tell you how I majorly effed up recently. And I've been doing Patreon now for, like, oh God, 2 years? 3 years. Almost 3 years? How many Guardians do I have? I think I started in 2018. Pretty sure. November 2018. I started it. So I've had a good amount of time to, you know, kick out some kinks. But, well, this one thing isn't technically my fault. So, I mean, it is, but it's not. Anyway, we'll get to it. Hold on. No. Worse. So pros and cons of Patreon. If you are a freelance artist or planning to be, it's a nice way to incrementally start making money doing the thing you want to do while building a fan base. And it's pretty easy, like, to start it. And, you know, I would say it's not really, what's the word I'm looking for? It's non-committal for the most part. Like, you don't have to go crazy doing physical rewards right away. You can just throw out, like, technically you don't have to do anything right away. Like, right away you just have a $1 tier and don't do anything, right? When you start feeling like you've got the time to do it and you've got some ideas of things to do and you feel really passionate about doing said things, then, you know, go the next level up and offer some digital stuff for maybe $2 to $3, right? Because then, you know, you'll get people coming to your thing. They're like, oh, $1 is this, but $2, $3, whatever. I get this. That's only $1 more every month. That's less than half a cup of coffee. Whatever, yeah. And then I would never go into doing physical rewards until you know exactly how to ship stuff. I honestly even wouldn't do it until you've got a P.O. box. Okay, P.O. boxes are extremely important when you start a business, especially if you're a woman. Okay, I know that's probably like, but really, I'm serious. You don't want a stalker coming to your house. And if you can't afford a P.O. box or anything like that, put your workplace as the return address. You just want to make sure you've got a buffer between your actual home. And there's a reason I haven't even really said where we live right now, where we moved to, because I'm honestly scared of the future. Who knows what kind of person latches onto you, you know? And if you're in a small town, somebody can find you. You know, it's not that hard nowadays. Anyway, so P.O. boxes, very important. They're not that expensive, but it does depend on where you live. The last place we lived was like 2 to 3 times more expensive than where we live now for one. So if you are in a little bit of a rural area, you're probably going to get it at a better price than you would if you were in a city. There are also virtual P.O. boxes, which are really interesting because they're not an actual physical P.O. box. I wouldn't do this service just because I don't like other people opening my mail, but it is legal and all that stuff. It's technically that they send you like pictures of what you get and you tell them, you know, should I trash it? Should I open it? Forward it to you? What do you want? So you get like an actual P.O. box you can put as a return address, but you never have a physical one. And things just get sent to your home then. But through the post office. It's like telephone. So that's kind of nice if you don't want a physical one. But definitely don't start doing a physical tier until you are ready to. The other thing that's cool and scary is that they offer annual memberships now, so people can sign up for an entire year right when they sign up. So that's scary on you. If you don't plan to be on Patreon for a couple months or more, you know, you've got these people signing up for a year. So can you imagine making whatever content you are for a year? You can not offer that, from what I understand. Mine has it. And I can't tell if I'm a beta person or not, but mine has it. So I've got a few people who have signed up for a year of things. If I don't want to do the full year, you know, if I get to, I don't know, 6 months into where they had paid for it, I think they technically get the refund of however much you didn't follow through with. Let me check the chat real quick. Hi, Asthmatic. Oh, thank you for the bits. Oh my goodness. That's $5. Thank you. Oh my goodness. I love those hearts. They're my favorite emoji out of all the emojis. What was it? Okay. So yeah, Patreon stuff. So the cons are kind of like built into, I guess, what I'm talking about. So the thing I did recently, or didn't do, I don't know. I have a spreadsheet that has everybody on it for, you know, each tier that I've got, so I don't get confused with things, right? There's a reason I do that, because if I don't do that, every month Patreon, like when you download a CSV to get the shipping information, you have to format the CSV every single month, and I don't want to do that, especially if you end up with hundreds of people. I do not have hundreds of people, but I've got 90, and that can be a lot. So what I do instead is I have my CSV previously, and I just update the information. So if you ever change your address, let me know. I do try to look every month to see if it told, you know, anybody's is different. It doesn't tell you when people change their addresses. So stupid. Really dumb, Patreon. I don't like that at all. But they assume you're just downloading the CSV with the new information on it, which, some of us are not. So I take people off and put people on depending on who leaves and who joins. So what's a big con, though, and where I screwed up, so I didn't screw up, though. This is where it's weird. I've been sending probably 2 people, packages that they're not even on Patreon anymore, and I don't know how long I've been doing it for. This one girl, I think she left a year ago. But the thing is, when they leave, so if they have a Patreon account and they leave your Patreon, it tells you. It's okay, blah, 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 left, they deleted their $8 pledge or whatever, right? And then I take them off my list. That's usually how it goes. However, these 2 people completely deleted their Patreon accounts. Now, it doesn't even tell you who deleted it, because it just says $8 deleted by and a blank space. Okay? So if any of you have, patrons that you're sending things to, double check that they're still, go in your relationship manager and double check that they're still even active. They might not even exist anymore on Patreon. So it didn't tell me. I had been sending these people things and they didn't even tell me. If it were me, I'd be like, oh, hey, I'm sorry, I left Patreon. You should take me off whatever list you've got, blah, blah, blah. They just kept taking them. So now I'm wondering if it's almost a scam tactic. People are, joining Patreons and then deleting. Because, they didn't have a profile image. Their name seemed really weird. So maybe it was they're making fake Patreon accounts just to delete them so that people don't get they don't realize that, oh, hey, this person left my Patreon. Anyway, so that was really stupid. That sucked. So now every month I have to kind of check and see if anybody's deleted their thing, which is how do I even do that? Anyway. Yeah, it's bad. But you see how it's not my fault? I couldn't even, unless I checked all 90 people every month to see if they're still even in the database. That's so much work. I can't even imagine. Yeah, that is really bad. And I was honestly thinking, since I have Squarespace has this option to do subscription-based, models. I am that close to doing that. So, I don't know. I thought so, Fire Seal, but this was the physical tier. So if they were digital, they wouldn't be able to access anything if they deleted their account going forward, but I don't know, Patreon stuff. So if anybody has any Patreon questions, let me know, or shipping questions, any shipping questions. My mind's just set in that today. You can ask anything you want, but I'm really Patreon. Maybe, but wouldn't they just sign up for the digital tier for that? They signed up for the physical. It's weird. And then there are some people, they signed up for a year of stuff and then immediately deleted their pledge. So it's did they even pay for it? And I try messaging people. Please, if you are a patron, check your Patreon messages at least once a week, because some of us send you things via your messages and not just on posts, and we need answers. My devoted Dandikin, if you are one of the people that gets original ATCs on my Patreon, please check your messages right now. I'm trying to see if I can combine April and May again into a 4x6 instead of the 2x3s, because if you want 2x3s, I'm fine with that. I just have to know. So anyway, please check them. It's hard. I can't even imagine if I had 1,000 patrons. I don't know what I would do. I'd have to care less, honestly. Now I understand when people get a lot of followers and, followings, you honestly have to care less, because if you care too much, you're gonna go crazy. So I kind of feel for people that have too many things to keep up with, because they have to, almost as a defense mechanism, care less. So, you have to almost rationalize with yourself, okay, Well, if they realize it's missing and if it's gone and they notice and they contact me, that's good. Because then they're actually going to see, and then I can say, well, I sent you a message. Did you see it? And then they're like, oh, no. Oh, okay. Maybe I should check that more. So at least I tried. That's the new motto. At least I tried to contact you. But yeah, it's a whole thing. Some do. So Serenity, you can turn, as a patron, you can turn off and on if you get notifications from a Patreon that you are a patron of. So if I wanted to, let's say yours, if you were spamming me every day with like Patreon messages and Patreon like updates and posts and things, I can say I don't want notifications by email anymore. So I almost think a lot of people do that, because if you're on multiple Patreons, which I am, I'm a patron of a lot of other Patreon creators, I get spammed. I'll be honest, I even get like 5 from Patreon that are different people, which, you know, that's fair, but it feels like a lot. So if anybody else is in that boat, it can get old pretty quick. Like, I almost want a tab in my Gmail that's just for Patreon. Anyway, so it's hard for somebody to know, or if you're a Patreon creator, if people are even getting your updates or your messages. You know, so those sorts of things. So I would say another con of Patreon is the fact that the Patreon creator relationship really needs some work. Like, I don't know how they could do it better, but something, and I honestly just think it falls on the patron to just keep up with their Patreon creator. Because what happens is sometimes they'll feel cheated, and then they come complain to us, but it's like, we've been giving you things. You just don't check them, you know? And then how can I be blamed for that sort of thing? But, you know. Anyway. Alright. So I guess we're doing mice. Does that sound good? You guys want a different animal? Give me some animals. I know I want that sort of scene though. Mother, daughter, son, whatever. Maybe that's up for grabs too if anybody wants a different one. And then, I do want them collecting raspberries, though. Does anybody else have all plastic dishware? We don't have anything but plastic dishware. A jackalope. A mother and a daughter jackalope. That's something. Ooh, otters, hairless cats, hamsters. Ooh, you knew that hit me. Oh, I had a dream of hamsters last night. These are the things I dream about. Hamsters. Anyway. Oh, that's true. Oh, wombats. Oh, wombats are cute too. Ugh. Numbats? Or did you mean wombat, Cavendish? Or is a numbat a thing? Koala bear. God, there's a lot, isn't there? And here I just wanted to default to a mouse. I guess drawing a jackalope is technically drawing a bunny. Bunny, mom, daughter. And I mean, jackalopes are kind of mythological, so they can eat whatever the hell I tell them to. Oh, hedgehogs are cute too. Oh shit, hedgehogs. Now I gotta look up some pictures and see what strikes me. Ah, goose! Oh, goose are cute too! I also want to do like a goose one as well as whatever I pick. Numbat. What is a numbat? Oh, weird. That is a creature for sure. That's like Wow. That's like if an anteater and a squirrel and an armadillo had an orgy, they would make this thing. That is not how genetics works, but just saying. Oh my god, it even has an anteater tongue. What the hell? Am I right? Is it like a... It is a marsupial. Oh, wow. It looks like it. Some things just scream marsupial. Usually they look really effed up, so that makes sense. Oh. Hold on. Oh. Is this you, Dragon Wall? Was that you? Hold on, y'all. Ah, you sweetie. Well, this baby has been claimed. So I have to go take it off the website. That's how things are right now. I have to go and take it off the website myself. And here I am forgetting my passwords. That one? No? That one? Yeah. Oh man. Okay. I'm gonna go pull it off the site so no one else tries to buy it. Because won't my cheeks be red or something? Thank you for that, Dragon Wall. Dun, 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 dun. 2 seconds. Almost done. As much as I love Squarespace, this is the only bad thing about it. Alright. It's so interesting. Well, I'm glad you think so. It was a fun one for me. If you want to see how it was done, that was last weekend's stream. You can see it start to finish similar to this one. Completely done on stream. So, hopefully that's kind of neat. Hi, Spartan. Koala are cute too, but no berry eaters. I don't know. I guess I'm feeling the luchador. Or not the luchador. God damn it. Cavendish! No, let's do the jackalope. So I think once in a while people have this thing where they see a jackalope and they're like, oh my god, right, jackalopes, yeah. Well, I'm glad you can now, Spartan. Oh, I gotta open up my... Totally forgot. I gotta open my Etsy shop again tomorrow. I said luchador instead of jackalope, and it was because I read you saying luchador goose, so that's half your fault, half not. Okay. So let me do a little thumbnail. I'm thinking my only problem with jackalopes is if the bunny ears get in the way. So I might do a lop. Might be cute if instead of having perky ears, Maybe for the baby I'll do perky ears. So for the mother I'll make it a lop, which makes no sense. But you know what? Like, if you think about it, it's a mythological creature. If I want to make them have lop ears when they're older and perky little bunny ears when they're younger, I'm gonna do it. Because F it, it's fantasy, right? So, let's do that. Which is so weird though, that, does it mean that jackalopes then are all male because they have antlers and only male deer have antlers? Do female moose have antlers? I don't think they do. And what about elk? See, some things hit me for fantasy facts and other things don't. Like, I don't understand. Okay, either way. So we'll have the mom have those, and we'll have the kid have little perky ears and little tiny jackalope things. But they have to look like bunny ears. And I kind of wanted to go a little Beatrix Potter with it, so I'm going to give her probably a pretty floofy dress. How you been, Spartan? Really? Okay. So, what antler animals have a female that has antlers? Not horns, but antlers. Can they? I don't know if they can. Also, if my music's too loud, tell me. It's always everywhere. Oh, okay. That's a good one. So let's say for fact's sake that, like, jackalope are coming from reindeer side of things. Thank you for the bits, Kat. So spending your time in a fun way, Spartan? Basically. Alright. Do you guys like the camera over here instead of up there? Does this feel better? That you get more contours? Different views? I don't know. Give me your feedback. Okay, so I want both of them visible. And usually I don't like to do kind of a central focal point. Usually you're supposed to do law thirds where it's in a third of the painting. This is a sketch, right? It's nothing serious. So do what you want. Yeah, train cart with cows. Ooh. Oh man, I drew a cow yesterday. And while I was outside, I drew a cow and a snail. I realized this past week I draw a lot of snails. And I don't mean to, but it happens. And I don't know what that means. I don't know. Dragon Ball, you like it? Okay, cool. But I drew a cow yesterday that was like a cow fey. Because it sounded like coffee. Cow fey? Anyway. Like COWFAE. It was pretty cute. Actually, maybe I can draw it real quick. I'll draw you my cow fey. I might do something with it. It's pretty cute. So he was kind of like a little, kind of a triangle shape. Very timid, right? And then is stupid cute. Like, it was dumb. Little horns. The ears. And then just wings. Just a little cow fey. There's nothing spectacular or anything like that, but it made me chuckle. I was like, oh man. I know ladies have udders, so don't worry, I'm not doing that. And then I was trying to think, could I use this for my Journey June character? And could I make a whole story off the Cowfay? I was like, maybe it's trying to find its bell. Anyway, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do for Journey June. If y'all don't know what Journey June is a month-long storytelling challenge where it's based off the hero's journey, and by the end of the month you have a story. So, if you ever wanted to make a story, this is the easiest first step. We literally hold your hand through every day and tell you exactly what to do that day. And it's up all year round, so you can literally use this formula any time of year to make a story. The nice thing, though, about doing it during the actual month is that other people are doing it too, so you get that camaraderie and that community. We do workshops. We also have a publishing class at the end where if you finish the entire month, you finished a story, you earn to learn sort of thing. So at the end, you submit your story. It's basically to see that you did it. And then we have a class that shows you how to make a digital book, how to make a staple-bound book, and how to actually self-publish a perfect-bound book. And this year I'm going to actually put up, there's a web page I've been meaning to make for it where we put up everybody who's actually finished it so people can buy each other's books and things and see them and stuff like that. So I'm going to get on that sometime this month. Oh my God, it's May. So halfway through May, we're going to be doing like a heroes workshop. We do that every year. Where I'll stream from the Journey June Instagram account. The Instagram account is the main one, so go follow it there. And I usually lead people through making a hero, because that's the one thing that really matters for the entire thing, is making a hero, and then you make the story around them. So don't use any pre-existing characters you've got other stories, anything like that. This is purely for you to kind of feel what it's like to make a story. Once you've done that, then you can take that and apply it to any other story you've got that's pre-existing. This is literally so you can finish the story, so you can see what it feels like to go through all the emotions and the learning and all of the tips and tricks to get yourself through an actual story. Because that's the hard thing about telling stories, right? People get stopped up about 3/4 of the way through, and we try to tell everybody, once you get to that point, here's what you can do, right? There's so many little things to get you over that hump to get to the end of the story, because it can get really hard, especially if you've got too many options. Anybody have that problem? I know I do. The most important thing is to pick one, visually go down that, right? And see where you end up, and just do that for each option and see what feels the best. Storytelling is all about feeling, okay? So anyway, we go through that, and by the end you should have a story. And it's pretty fun. You can post online if you want to. You can keep it to yourself if you want. In the past years, we've done pin giveaways too every week. I'll see if I have time to do that. I would really like to participate this year. So last year I didn't get to. I was too busy. I'm too busy this year too, but I don't want to miss it again. So I have to figure something out. Maybe I sacrifice an hour of sleep a night. I don't know. Yeah, June's only 1 month away. Get ready. Yeah, or two little options too. We tell you how to brainstorm if you're blank on whatever to do next. We can help you with that. So typically what we do is there's one that's a heroes workshop that happens in May, so you can design a character just for this. And then once June hits, we have like an introductory kind of stream that Gabe and I do. It's on the Instagram account. And then later in the month, we have the getting over the hump thing, where if you're having trouble, right? And there was one more. We might just tell you how to generate ideas or how to brainstorm during one of those. Can't remember which one it was, but anyway, we help as much as we can. And it's all free. So it's not like we're saying, you have to pay for the class. No. But donations are welcome. Because it is our, well, free time. It's our personal time, I'll say that. It's not free time, but, you know. Oh, thank you, Greg. How are you? And I don't know, mermaid. I made a coloring book the last time I did mermaid. It's on my website, but you know what? Maybe I'll just open my Etsy now. Or is it up? I think I did open it. I totally forgot about that. Ah, it is. No. What? That's weird, because I totally did it from my phone the other day. Hold on. Now I'm confused. Does anybody have any fun things they're looking forward to in the next week? Or some things in May you're looking forward to? Weird. It was supposed to redo this. That's crazy. Huh. Well, let me get to this then. Son of a bitch. There we go. Yeah, I turned it off weird. Okay, well, now it's open. So there we go. That's so weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, that'll be fun, Spartan. Do you do it in person, or do you guys do like a digital virtual D&D sesh? Try to enjoy the weather. Do that, Fire Seal. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, Kat, ask any questions you want. Patreon my butt. I'm just trying to get people to ask questions. Sometimes you have to just put a prompt out there for people to want to ask questions, so any questions are fair game. Yes, I will get to that. Oh no, Greg. I'm sorry. Is that today or recently, or... That's not good. I'm sorry they didn't understand. Maybe when things kind of cool off from it, you can sit them down and explain that it's an actual thing, or have someone close to you explain it if you're still kind of, you know, in a nonverbal. Because yeah, some people don't know how to deal with that, or some people don't even know that's a thing. And it's tough to say it's anyone's fault when that happens. But the best thing you can do is communicate to them that, you know, it is a thing, that's not personal against them, it's just what, you know, what's happening with you right now. Oh, I'm sorry, that sounds very uncomfortable for you. Okay, Kat, do you have any tips for starting streaming? Yeah, I do. Start doing it. That's really all you can do. If you have a phone, your phone, if it's been made in the past 3 to 5 years should be good enough to start from there. If you just want to start from your phone and see if you like it, do Instagram Live. If you want to start Twitch streaming, you'll have to invest a little bit more. So all of streaming really depends on budget and what you want to do with it. Because some people do just art, some people do gaming, some people do a mix. Like Gabe, my other half, once he's done with this comic he's working on, he's gonna come back to streaming. He used to stream as much as I did or more, but he got pulled away by this project. So he'll be back. He'll be doing both. So it depends, because you'll need different equipment for different things. So if you do want to start Twitch or YouTube live streaming, you'll need a camera. You don't need a face cam right away, but face cams are pretty important if you do want to connect to your audience, because it feels like you're there. You know, you're here with me. We're having a moment, right? You can see me emote, and that's fun, because then it feels like performance when I'm in the mood. When I'm not in the mood, either I won't stream or I'll turn off the camera and have like a slideshow of art or something, right? But not everybody likes to stream. I have some great artist friends that they just don't want to stream, right? And that's fine. I have other artist friends where they just like to make YouTube videos and not anything live. They like having full control over edits and cuts, and that's fine too. So it all depends on kind of what you want to do with it, you know? Let's see. Yeah, I could turn down the music. That's why I asked earlier if you guys wanted it where it was. Just do Twitch? Okay, so when we started, it's funny, I've got one right here. Okay, when we started, we used these guys. These are IPEVO document cameras. And the main thing you want to do when you're looking at cameras, at least for recording traditional art, is to make sure it has a manual focus. You do not want just autofocus on any camera, basically at any time. Because what that's going to do is when your hand is moving here, whatever, the autofocus is just going to always focus on whatever's closest to it. So if you've got a pencil or even a paintbrush and it's really long, it's going to focus on that eraser and not on your piece. So what I've got going on here is it's a manual focus, right? I have control over this, the zoom and the focus, right? And you want to make sure that you've got that so you can have your drawing focused at all times. And those are actually kind of hard to find, especially for kind of cheap. This was originally like $100, somewhere in there. And we ended up buying like 4 of these eventually, until we were like, you know what, we should probably get a decent face cam and a better traditional one, because the problem with those is the color. So if you have something that's maybe subtle with color, it's going to have trouble picking it up. So when I was doing watercolor with that one, not so good. This camera we saved up for, and this is kind of expensive. It's like $500, but I can do any of the art on it, and it shows up pretty nice, clear, good. I can get into details and have it zoom in if I want, all that sort of stuff. So yeah. So the IPEVO was nice because it was a very simple starter camera. It has the option for autofocus and manual focus. If you can still find them, it's a really good starter camera. Not for face necessarily. If you've got like a Mac and you've got the face cam, that's fine for face. But for documents, that one was decent. And then, level up as you go. If you don't want to pay for lights right away, put your rig next to a window and stream in the earlier hours so you get some good lighting. Streaming at night, really tough, unless you have a good lighting rig. You usually want 3 different lights. You want a face light, you want a fill light, and you want a backlight, typically. It's similar to how you would light a 3D space. Usually we had behind me was that it was a rigging that had a sheet on it, and I liked it. Gabe doesn't like it because it feels very constricting to him, and he likes having other things looking in the background, so he actually got a green screen so he can put whatever he wants behind it. I'll probably get there too, but right now we haven't even finished moving in, so I don't even have that up, obviously. But you have a Surface and the camera's fine for that. Then you should be good. All of these cameras we've got are all USB hookup, so just make sure you've got a USB, and you should really be good. Oh, really, Kat? I didn't even know you were streaming. Gosh. On this account? Like, for real? I feel like a jerk. Am I even following you? I need to follow you. I'm a bad person. This is not good. I gotta... Oh, you started this week. Okay. So don't cancel me for that. Okay. I have you unfollow. Oh yeah, Cavendish all day. Usually for me it was my eraser, because it was whatever was closest to the camera, it would then focus on that. So what sucks is though that like if you wanted to show this, you'd have to obviously focus on it, you know? So I'd have to manually do that, which kind of sucks. But, you know, whatever. I should probably draw something soon. Art stream my butt. Yeah, because you'll kick yourself if you get a nice camera that doesn't have autofocus. We did that once. We had to return it. We were like, oh my god, we're idiots. We didn't even check for that. It's true. Technically, Spartan, for the past however long I've been streaming, I just forward all my Twitch streams to YouTube to archive them. Because what Twitch does is it'll save your streams for like 14 days if you opt it to. You can also opt, I think, to not save any, but you should, you know, so other people can watch past streams. But if you really want to keep them for a long time, so all mine for the past 4 or 5 years I've been streaming now are all on my YouTube. So you can literally see my first streams when I don't even have a camera. I used to have the chat in the actual video. I thought some people weren't on their computers and they were watching just the screen. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, so those are funny. But yeah. And you can always delete things too, but I mean, it's really kind of fun to save your progress because you can look back and see, you know. The scary thing though is when, oh, I don't know, you were 60 pounds lighter when you started and now you're not. That's when it hurts, but whatever. I'll get there again. It's just, you know, pandemic times, right? Right. All right, let's do a cute little family scene. Let's have her have the basket. Except I think I don't want a basket because they're big damn berries. She would have a big back basket, I think. Yeah. And the little kid's gonna be over here. Be really small. You're not gonna probably see this for a little bit until I get it going. Yeah. What Spartan said. Was that enough info for the streaming part, Kat? you have other questions, let me know. My experience is your information. Oh, Cass Art, thank you for the raid. I think about saving and then going forward and still working on it. It's something I want to do. That's fair, Kat. And honestly, a lot of people go to art streams just for a chill space. So don't think you ever have to like talk a lot during your stream. If you just want to have chill music going, I had a friend who had a pretty big following on Twitch and he was just doing his art. He just had lo-fi music playing a lot. He rarely talked. It's just kind of the space. It's not like you have to entertain or give crazy good facts all the time or anything like that. Luckily for art streams, it's basically art. That's the bare minimum is art, which I've been talking the whole time, so I don't even have a decent enough whatever. For everybody coming in, sorry, here's something finished that you can see. I've been talking too much this stream, so I haven't even gotten down a sketch yet. We did this one last weekend, so if anybody wants to see this one be done, that was on last stream. Yeah, don't worry about a schedule right away, but once you know, hey, this is something I really want to start doing, definitely start a schedule, at least one day a week and for like an hour. You know, nothing scary, start small, and then once, you know, that feels good, especially finding a day that works for you, that's important too. You know, if you stream better on a day you worked, you don't know, maybe that's better than a day that you had off. You know, maybe you want that whole day off and you don't want to stream on that day. Figure that out first, then build your schedule off that sort of thing. That's gonna be so much better. You'll get used to it, Cavendish. You just gotta do it for a while. My first year when I was doing it, super hard. It's not, Serenity. You don't need a face cam, but depending on what you want to do with your channel and if you kind of want to emote to people and to have that, there is an intimacy you feel. Like, personally, when I'm streaming and I don't have my cam on, I feel like I'm hiding and I feel kind of bad. I feel like it's like talking through a wall at somebody. You know, they can't see me, I can't see them. At least this way, you're a little camera to me, you're a little pinhole. But for you to me, you can see how I'm feeling about stuff. The main thing, and this is the absolute main thing I would say for having a cam being an artist, is so that people know you're not ignoring them when you haven't answered their question. If you see my head down, you know I'm drawing. So you'll expect an answer when you see me look at the chat again. That's more what I feel the cam's for. That's more the thing. Going to the hairdresser. Yeah, me either. It's just there. I think everybody's pretty understanding of that, Cass. How was your stream, by the way? You have a good time? No, Cat. Oh my god. Don't worry about it. I'm wearing plaid and a tank top. You don't have to wear anything. I wore a hoodie last time. I originally dressed up, but really, you don't have to if you don't feel like it. There are some artists I know that don't even wear makeup on their streams. I wish I couldn't, but I have no features if I don't put on a little bit of makeup. Like, this is natural blonde, so I have, like, no eyebrows. I have no eyelashes. It's kind of messed up. So I need something to outline my features if I'm going to have a camera on me. But, yeah. Oh, my grays. You see my gray streak? You see it? It's there. That's real. That's my real gray streak. And I know my hair looks greasy, but I swear to God, it's clean. Yeah, I only wear makeup for my Twitch stream, and it's only so you can see where my eyebrows are. Seriously. Yeah, I'm 35 and I have this gray streak, so whatever, man. It's what it is. I'm kind of proud of it. I don't know. I think it was done during a a traumatic time, probably, it came out, but whatever, it's there now. It's part of me. It's my gray streak. I don't like covering roots or gray streaks like that. Like, if it's coming in, it's time, you know. For me, I dig it. Now, I think it'd be cute if she is wearing... For those coming in, we're doing a little bit of a Mother's Day thing. So I'm doing a mother and daughter jackalope, because everybody in the chat kind of went jackalope on it. So I was like, yeah, I could do that. I can do that. Just trying to figure out how I want the antlers. Gonna have her wearing like not a bonnet, but a little scarf. I really like Polish lady, old lady chic. Like, you know, basically just wearing shawls and blankets as your aesthetic. I'm into that. I think all last year, and maybe even the year before, for all my streams, I was just wearing ponchos. Different ponchos. I've got like 4 or 5 of them. And they're so comfy, and they're so warm. I love it. But if conventions start up again, I'm not going to be able to do that. Even though when you do go to a convention and you're behind the booth, it's smart to bring like a backup hoodie or something, because surprisingly, if your table's under a vent, it's going to be super drafty the whole time, even if it's really hot. It'll be a little bit crazy. So this will be hard to see for a little bit, just because I'm still doing the light blocking, you know. You never really want to go hard with your lines until you're about 80% sure where everything's going, if not 100%. I know people who are always like, oh, I draw too heavy, blah blah blah. It's like, well, block it in first so you know where everything's going, so then you can easily erase it if you need to, if you don't like where a part is, you know? Do I want to make her kind of... I want to bring her mouth up. Her mouth's too low. There you go, cat. You know what's up. You're so positive about it too. I love that. Yeah, it's basically like a job fair. You're totally right there. So much energy, so much. Right? Oh my god. Like... It's crazy because I remember going to a con that was in like North Carolina, and I was like, oh, it's hot there. It'll be fine. Like, it'll probably be too warm in there. Granted, when enough people get in any convention, yeah, it can be too hot. But I'd say 70% of the time, they're blasting the AC. And, you know, if you're not under a vent, it's probably comfortable. But if you get under a vent and you didn't bring something, and you didn't notice the day before when you were setting up, because during setup and takedown, you're going to get sweaty. So you probably don't even notice what the actual temperature there is. It's ridiculous. So very important to bring, you know, something that you can layer onto, and not to dress too warm, because obviously you can't take much off if you're too warm. So Yeah, that's true, Kat. Totally true. There are a couple cons I was way too hot at. Florida, obviously. It's Florida. But there's one here in Illinois that we did one year. And oh my god. It was so warm. And it wasn't even like a good convention. It was a little one. It's not like it was C2E2 or something. It was a little one. And it just was ridiculously hot. Everyone was sweating and miserable. They didn't have AC on at all. I think it had broken or something. Like, it was bad. It was so bad. I kind of want her to have even beadier eyes. Yeah. It's weird, I'm like, I want less emotion here. But more I'm just looking for that Beatrix Potter kind of old school style, so she didn't really make anybody very emotive, you know. I want her to have a bonnet. I want her to have a shawl. We're going the shawl route. Can't decide what shape of her skirt I want. This is one of those things where you want the butt to poke out a bit from the shawl so she's got some shape, because you don't necessarily want to do that whole curve, you know, and have it just connect shawl to skirt, because then you're going to kind of lose the silhouette. So you want a little bit more in there, because right here I've got 3 curves. I've got the ear, I've got the shawl, and then I've got the skirt. So that's, you know, a lot more visually interesting, at least, than one whole curve. However, if your style has a lot of unbroken curves, that would be ideal to keep that curve. You know, if it's just all like that. If anybody's ever seen like a Secret of Kells or Song of the Sea, they're both, I think, by Cartoon Saloon, I think. Either way, that style, lots of unbroken curves. Like, everything would just be contained within bigger shapes. So it's all based on style and preference. That's all that is. The hip, the hip. Right, Spartan? Yeah, I suppose if you're in line somewhere too, it would have been way hot. Cass, yeah, Florida. That was my first time in Florida going to SuperCon, and I never want to go to Florida again. My Midwest blood cannot take that humidity. I have mad respect for anybody who can weather that, because You said you like is old peasant chick. Dragonwall, did you mean you said you like an old peasant cheek? Like chic? Like S-H-E-I-K? I was going for an old Polish grandma look. So we're going like the full shawls and blanket looking, you know, way here. I just want to figure out if I want her like I think those should be coming out of here. Sometimes I like making holes in the clothing for, you know, their elements of their body to come through. But other times I like the folds of the clothing to kind of go around them, because that can add for some more movement and interesting shapes as well. So kind of like that, where the fabric itself would move aside and they'd wrap their head around these things. But I also want to bring this down and have it like, you know what, I dig that. Let's go with that. I liked the cheek, but I also didn't like the cheek. And then on this side, I could do a similar thing. Have that come out. Oh, thanks, Fire Seal. Enjoy your food. You know what? Real quick, I think I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I have to pee. I'll be right back. Hi, I'm back. Okay. Polish grandma style. Gotcha. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if it's just Polish grandmas. I'm sure it's not, but hopefully that kind of brings an image to your mind when I say it. I feel like this would go a little bit closer down here. Oh yeah. Eat. Stream's just suck the energy out of you. Get some food. Thank you so much. I appreciate that raid, Cass. Thank you, thank you. I gotta look up raspberry leaves. Because you think you remember things, but you really, you don't. You just don't. I'd like to think I remember. Alright, if I think about it first, I think they're actually like kind of jagged, but I don't want to just assume. Just in case. Raspberry leaves. Yeah, okay, I was right. Raspberry leaves. So here's that thing I was worried about. I didn't want the antlers to conflict with the ears. So I have to move the ears out of the way for the little antlers for the little girl. It's funny, I've drawn more jackalopes than I think I have. Like, it's actually kind of weird. I have one print on my store that is a jackalope. It's technically a story I like to tell at cons about the print itself. Because the story of the jackalope, funny enough, originated from this virus that bunnies get called cottontail papilloma virus, and it causes them to grow horns and things. So if you look it up, be careful. They're very graphic. So if you're squeamish, I've warned you. However, the imagery is technically what inspired the jackalope originally. So I thought that was interesting. This one we're going to give her a little hood. Did anybody see the trailer for the new Space Jam? Ooh. That's one of those properties I really feel like they shouldn't have tried to revive. Like, I feel like that was really a product of its time. Especially now, since I feel like so many kids don't even know what Looney Tunes are. Is it even gonna make sense to a lot of kids? Like, who is it for? Is it for my age group to try to introduce kids to Looney Tunes? Or, you know, who is that for? Gabe and I couldn't figure it out. Bigger dress. It's bigger. There we go. Maybe she has a little shawl just like her mom. Maybe this is part of that shawl? You can make a hood out of a shawl that's around you. I think I've done that before. So cute. I'm scared to watch it. Yeah, it's cringy. Like, especially the part with the Tweety Bird grandma. it's just, it's... Oh, this is gonna drive me up the wall. Hold on. I didn't realize how grunge I dressed today, unknowingly. But I guess 90s Nirvana chic, I don't know. At least I don't have the crazy makeup to go with it, but, you know. Okay. To show they're fuzzy, I'm going to add a couple little fuzzy marks. And cute little button nose. I'm going to readjust my contact. Do not look at me. Okay. Really? How did they feel about it, Kat? Were they like, I don't want to work on this? Or were they psyched? That's, oh man. That's one of those things where it's like, I'm glad I don't work in the industry anymore, because having to work on licensed things, and like when higher ups tell you, okay, you gotta start pimping the project so people, you know, get hyped for it, and you're like, I'm not hyped for it. You're supposed to fake the hype. It's like, no, man. I can't be inauthentic. I just can't. If I'm ever hyping something, please know it's because I actually want it, like, to happen, and I'm excited for it and all that. Otherwise, I don't hype for things I don't believe in. I can't do it. I don't know. Like, I was working on sports games way back, and I was like, there's a bowling game we were working on, and I was kind of expected to hype it. I'm like, I can't get behind the idea of paying $100 for a virtual bowling ball. Granted, I made it pretty cool. I had it like scalding the ground of the lane underneath it, and it shot out like ash and soot. It was called Brimstone. It was kind of cool, but not $100 bowling ball. Anyway, I always felt kind of weird about those sorts of things. Maybe she has a basket. Her own little basket. So I wanted to show one of their tails, not necessarily both. It would be cute if she had her own little backpack basket, but then, like I said, then I'd have to hide one of the tails, or both of the tails, so I don't necessarily want to do that. But yeah, how do they feel about it, Kat? Are they like, are they actually hyped for it, but, or like what? I really wanted a watercolor today, but I haven't in so long that I was like, probably should not yet. Should wait till I'm back in the swing of things. Oh, that's a good point, Kat, yeah. Happy to just have work, yeah. I could see that. Maybe it's better than the trailer made it look. Because, yeah, The trailer made it just look so cringy. Sometimes trailers absolutely ruin movies. Not only that, but they ruin twists in movies too. Do you guys remember the controversy with the How to Train Your Dragon 3 movie? Like, they completely gave away the twist in the trailer. And I remember DreamWorks was pissed. They were so mad because the trailer company did that. And they had told them, not to. And it was like, oh my god. How did that not get communicated? I don't know if I like that. Maybe it'll just be rope. Sometimes I really don't want to use buckles, like metal buckles and things. I feel like they're almost too advanced, like technologically advanced. I know that sounds crazy because they probably had buckles a long time ago, but I like the aesthetic of rope too when I'm doing fantasy images. So if I carry that through, you'll see that it's rope. I don't know, Serenity, I don't know. You can absolutely look it up though. The fact that, DreamWorks angry because How to Train Your Dragon 3 trailer gives away plot twist, whatever. I just remember it was like, how? Maybe it was a publicity stunt even, I don't even know. Either way, it's like, how do we get our third movie in a trilogy to get more hype? Well, have a publicity stunt. Like something good? No, something bad. Because bad things still make for good publicity, right? Man, I love raspberries, but I really hate the seeds. Like, if I ever make a raspberry smoothie or something, I have to just, have a straw and suck past it, because seeds, blackberries too, man. I went through this phase where I was putting honey, lemon in my black tea, like I was having black tea, and then I'd have a little cup of blackberries with it. So good, but oh my god, they got caught in my teeth so badly. Because a lot of the time they'll outsource to other, production houses to do that while they're actually finishing the movie. So a lot of times the trailers are made before the movie's even done. So they give footage that they've got, and then so by the time they're done with the movie, the trailer can, be put out and whatever. So sometimes there are like deleted scenes even in a trailer that aren't in the movie, things like that. But yeah, that one was just weird. I remember thinking that too. I was like, why? That's such a weird situation. Why would that happen? I love fringe on shawls too. Like, I'll add it to a lot of my shawls when I'm doing them just because it's so cute and it adds some good texture. Yeah, but I mean, these are giant companies, Serenity. So it wouldn't be up to you, I guess, anyway. You would have done this much of something in the company, like as a cog. MGM isn't making their films, they have vendors making films in the router. Yep, that's usually how it is. Gotta outsource it. I'm gonna make a big deal out of where this connects, so it's really obvious. Shouldn't even go down there. It should wrap back around. So for those of you who are getting my Clover cards, please make sure to check your Patreon updates. I put out one yesterday specifically for Clover card people. That has to do with my printers dying. Both of them. It's ridiculous. Anyway, go look it up. I'll hopefully be sending both April and May, plus the bonus card. This month, Clover card people get a bonus card, which is the bonus rare card. So that's 3 this month. So for $4, you're getting the 3 cards. Well, if you join this month, it'll be 2 cards. But anyway, a bit weird in that regard. Once you look at it, I could understand Serenity. That could be really hard. I'm sorry that's been such a hard thing for you. Not fun at all, right? Oh, I had a list of things I even wanted to talk about during this stream. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. I wanted to talk about comparisons in not just art, but in general. I was thinking the other day about, when is it even a good thing when somebody makes a comparison and it involves art? Very rarely when somebody's like, oh, hey, your stuff reminds me of this, does somebody actually want to hear that or take it as a compliment. Like, a lot of the time, they don't take it that way, right? Even if it's somebody like when people tell me, oh yeah, your stuff reminds me of Brian Froud. And I'm like, cool, that's neat, that's nice. But like deep down, you're like, I'm still being compared to something, right? And I know people mean well when they do that. And so you kind of have to just get over it. But in general, I feel like comparing does, it hurts more than helps. And I wanted to know if you can think of a time when comparing is actually helpful. So the only time I could think of when comparisons are a good thing is when it comes to products. So in my head now, I've made this little motto of compare products, not people, right? Or not art, or things like that. But if you're like, yeah, Clorox is better than Lysol for this, and this reason, that's okay. Because you've got facts, they actually kind of make sense. But comparing people and art and things like that, it's like you can't. And I almost feel like you shouldn't, because it's gonna do more harm than good. So I think personally, I'm gonna start just avoiding comparing people, art, anything like that if I can help it. Because yeah, I made that realization. I was like, when is comparing even helpful? And I don't think it is. Oh, Serenity. You poor thing. I'm glad you're in a better place now. Right? Because I know every artist I know basically gets really irked if somebody compares their OC to something that exists. That's another intellectual property. This reminds me of this character. It hurts because we developed these things on our own. And to just know that they're close to something else that exists already when we may have busted our ass to make it different, it hurts. And it doesn't, and especially like, what if you made that comparison and it was to something that the artist didn't like? That's even worse, right? So I almost think that in no way do comparisons really help. Because this is something you get endlessly at conventions. You'll get people walking by pointing, this reminds me of this. They'll come up to you. They'll be like, hey, your art style really reminds me of this. And then they'll just walk away. Sometimes it'll be during a conversation or something. So there's that. But I couldn't think of a way when it would be helpful, really. I don't know. It can't not feel personal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and think about, you're right, with the goals thing, and what if they're even trying to avoid looking like that person's stuff? I had another friend that, kept getting attacked because their stuff looked too close to this other person, and they were really, really trying hard to break away from that style so they didn't get compared anymore. And every time they got compared again, it was just cutting them. They were like, oh. So, I don't know. I think in general, I know I'll make an effort never to do it again, but it was just a realization I had the other day about it. Also, when figuring out where clothing ends and things like that, I usually draw it very lightly through whatever's there, and then act accordingly around whatever thing it's kind of contouring. That way, you at least know where it ends up and how much of its volume is actually there. There you go, Kat. Yeah. So it's hard because I feel like the correct response to that would be, I'll thank you, but also, there's a way to say this where they wouldn't take offense, but I don't exactly know how to do it. Comparing artists can actually be hurtful. And what sucks is once you bring up these points in that sort of way directly to a person, then you look defensive. And then that kind of brings this awkwardness to the stream where nobody wants to talk to you then as the streamer. So it's almost like you have to either talk about this before they get there or afterwards without pointing them out. You know what I mean? Like, calling people out during a stream is, it's a little bit taboo. Like, unless they're a troll, which is what they want. So if you ever get a troll, ignore them and ban them immediately. Don't even worry about feeling bad about it. Because one of the things is, if they're not a troll, they'll contact you and be like, hey, why'd you block me? I'm sorry, did I say something wrong? They'll be human about it. And then you unban them. Easy as that. But if they are a troll, then you just got rid of it. So ban first, questions later, that sort of thing. But calling people out like that, like, I've done it a few times. Just bad. It's bad form. Especially, and this is where it's like, if you're in a bad mood the day of a stream and you do your best to get out of that funk, and you still can't, you may not want to stream. And I know a lot of us women have this problem. I know I do. Where you're a little bit defensive more days than others. And some of those days, like, I'll think about, well, can I stream if I don't have my camera on? Because then I can just be like, and kind of hide it. But if I'm like, no, because I'll say something stupid. I know me, and I will say something stupid. So maybe those days don't stream or reschedule it, Like, to be honest, yesterday a whole bunch of things went wrong for my usual stream, so I was like, I'm just going to reschedule to today. And I'm so glad I did. I'm in such a better mood. The computer's working. Yesterday it sprung a Windows update on me. And I was like, God damn it. Fine. I'm happy my normal computer is a Mac because the PC thing. Oh, God. Anyway. But yeah. Hi, Asling! This is kind of a Mother's Day inspired piece I felt like doing. So I'll probably have this up to sell for Mother's Day, but thank you. The watchers decided on jackalopes. So I obliged with the jackalope family. Mother and daughter. I thought it'd be cute. Yeah, intention versus perception. It's hard. Yeah. They do think they're complimenting you. That's the other thing. Like, and it's the whole talent versus skill thing too. A lot of artists hate being told you're so talented. And the way to combat that is to replace talent with skill. Oh, you're so skilled. Because skill implies that you actually spent time honing your craft. Talent implies that you were given to it by luck and it was God-given and all this stuff. And for a lot of us, we're like, no, we've spent a lot of time on this, you know? And I know a lot of artists don't care about that, but it's just one of those little tweaks where if you come across the right artist or the person that notices, I don't mean the right artist, I just mean the person that notices, it's going to mean the world to them, you know, to say it that way instead. Oh, Serenity, that's fine. It's 2017. I didn't even know how I felt about this back then. I mean, there's a time I didn't hate selling fan art either, but that's changed, obviously. That I didn't hate that people sold fan art, I should say that. Yeah, Kat, you're in the fray now. You understand all this stuff. Yeah, it's just one of those things too. And then sometimes it's like it's a choose your battles. That's the hard thing. It's if you're like me, and you know, I don't want to say I get upset at things, but I notice everything. I don't necessarily react to everything, but I do notice everything. So I'll notice if, like, at a convention, somebody compares my stuff, or, you know, does the talent skill thing. And if it's like, if you're already having a longer conversation with somebody and you're feeling pretty comfortable with them, and likewise they feel comfortable with you, you could probably bring that up pretty casually, you know? However, you gotta know how to read people. Because if they're just gonna ditch out and they're like, oh, you're so talented, and they're already walking by, don't stop them and be like, yeah, I think you mean skilled. You know, don't do that. Don't do that. But I mean, you have to read the situation pretty hard. Oh, fricka! 8 people, yeah! Raid! Oh, hello! Arnold, how are you? Fricka! Oh, how's your stream? What'd you do? You guys should follow Fricka. She does some really great stuff. And she's a good friend. Serenity, I may not have even known about it back then. I mean, 2017 was a while ago. It's weird. It doesn't feel like that long, but it totally is. Am I? My thing is lying to me so hard, man. It's telling me I've got 18. I'm like, okay. I try not to look, but, you know. You painted a model. Oh. Oh, Lex, thank you. Here. This was actually last week's. If you want to see this whole thing be done on, we did this last week on stream. So, start to finish, it was just one that is the first time I drew after 2 weeks of moving. My hand is just dead still from gripping boxes and weirdly shaped things. You'd be surprised. It's ridiculous. A minute delay. Believe me, it's been delayed for a while. It says like 18 at the top the whole time. I think it's bugged, but whatever. But Lex, thank you. This is kind of Mother's Day inspired. I wanted to make something that wasn't cheesy Mother's Day, but was kind of like, you know, I don't know, in the vein of, I really felt like doing something like that. I like the idea of the parental-child relationship, but I myself am not in it, but, you know, I like the idea of kids. I don't want any of my own, but I like the idea of them. Oh, really, Spartan? Yeah, it's that sort of thing. Rika, thank you for the bits. Oh. And Lex, thank you for the follow. Arnold, thank you for the follow. You guys are wonderful. Thank you. Oh no, cord fell. What's wrong? Oh no. No crying. Be happy. Maybe I'll put a little tuft up here. A little tuft of hair. That's kind of cute. Maybe I'll go with that. We were just talking about kind of etiquette when talking to artists, and you know what artists like to hear and what they don't like to hear. And we were talking about the fact that making comparisons in general to artists, either to other artists or other intellectual property, is usually not something artists like, you know? So saying, oh, hey, your style looks like this. I mean, our default is to say thank you, but really we're like, you know, okay. we don't necessarily love being compared. And I was thinking the only time comparisons really help is when it comes to products and not people, you know? Yeah, and that's the other thing. Almost 100% of the time, the artist will not agree with your comparison either. So, I don't know. Instead, just tell them what you like about their art. You don't have to compare anything, just say the things you like about it. Ursa, right? That's the other thing. It's like, oh shit, how close am I to their work? Especially if you don't know them. You could be copying somebody and not even know it. And like, what do you do? How do you change something you don't even know? So we were talking about that. So don't compare anyone to anyone, ever. It's just not helpful. It's not going to help anybody. It doesn't do any good. And then the talent versus skill thing. Anytime you can swap out saying talent for skill, you get massive points. Because talent has such a connotation of just being lucky, where skill, you've honed it. You've spent hours doing this thing, you know? I know, in Spartan we try not to, but you know, if you're at a convention and you get 5 people in a row doing that, it just eats at you. You know, it takes little bites away. And I mean, you've got 3 days of that, sometimes 8 to 12 hour days. So, you know, it depends. Depends on the person, depends on your mood, depends on what kind of a con it is, if you're doing good, doing bad, whatever. There's so many factors. You know, and a lot of times we're trying to stay happy during these things, so it gets crazy. Yeah, that's true, Kat. When I think talent, I think like, you know, you were born maybe seeing perspective better than somebody else, or maybe colors click better with you, maybe. Like, I'm thinking more physical things that help you. Like if you were somebody who made perfume, if you're talented with it, maybe it's because your nose hairs are more sensitive or something, you know, something like that. But when it comes to actually like doing the thing, I would almost assume anybody could draw if they just spent enough time doing it. It might take more time than somebody else, but I would think that you could actually do it. you know? It's just hard work and grinding, you know? Yay, streamer friends. Twitch has such a good art community. Like, all the art streamers I know of on Twitch have always just been wonderful. One of Gabe and I's closest streamer friends on Twitch is Wadacuff. And if you don't follow Wadacuff, you should check him out. He's great. He's a good personality, super chill dude. Really nice guy. Like, every time we're at Gen Con or Dragon Con, we try to, have dinner with him or hang out, because he's just a good guy. And I mean, we met him via Twitch a long time ago, years and years ago at this point, at least 5 years. Pretty sure he was here in like 2017. But really nice guy. Good artist. Nice dude. Plateauing, yeah. There are, Serenity, there's, like, Adobe has their own now, which, funny we should mention Wadacuff, but he does streaming on Adobe or Behance right now. So they have their own streaming platform, which I assume is a good bit more professional, seeing as it's Adobe. Because Adobe used to be big on Twitch, and we even got hosted by Adobe a long time ago, and they used to actually have a whole team of artists on Twitch that they promoted, like back in 2017, 2018 days, and then all of a sudden they were gone. So that actually makes sense now that they have their own streaming platform, and why they kind of pulled out of the Twitch scene during that time they were developing this. So Adobe has one. There's Open Canvas streaming, but that's more for just like if you have a group stream or, things like that. I'm surprised DeviantArt doesn't have their own streaming service. Maybe they do now. If they do, I haven't heard anything about it. There are other streaming things, though. I know there are. It's just their, like, user base must not even compare to Twitch. I mean, there's YouTube. I was trying to figure out how to simultaneously stream to YouTube and Twitch at the same time, but everything I came across that was like a multi-stream tool was expensive, and I was like, I don't want to pay for that right now. But I think Behance opened up. I think you can join up now. Anybody, pretty sure. It's okay, Fricka. And yeah, you probably gotta eat. I miss you. Tell Helene I said hi. You guys are great. I would say, yeah, patience is part of it, but is it? I'm almost thinking talent isn't even the right word for, like, these intrinsic things you have. Like, they're almost additional skills rather than talent, right? Like, I don't even know what to think of that. Because, I mean, let's say you had bad eyesight and you were given classes and now you have extra good eyesight. Does that mean that's talent then? No. But you can see better now. But if you could see good at birth, is that talent? Even if it's no different than adding on glasses to somebody who can't? Like, you know what I mean? It's so... Yeah, it's confusing. Good conversation, though, to have with people. It's one of those ones that doesn't seem to have an end. I just know that if you use skill instead of talent when talking to an artist, 90% of the time they're probably going to like that. Yeah, right? Gotta think about that now. A skill, or the RPG MMO in me wants to say, like, passive ability, passive innate ability, something like that. Yeah, it's all weird. I feel like this is going to come across almost too Easter-like, which isn't my intention because bunnies, but bunnies in baskets. Damn it, right? I had good passives when I was born. See, like me, I've never had good eyesight. I've had glasses since I was in first grade. Apparently one of my eyeballs is shaped like a football the wrong way. Because there's a right way, apparently. Well, there is, technically. If you have astigmatism, your eyeball is shaped like a football. And if you have it where your eyeball is pointed outward, you can get LASIK. If it's turned 90 degrees and it's going this way instead, you cannot get LASIK. That would be me. Yeah. So we can't get LASIK, Spartan. Oh well. Hi, Fritz! Yeah, brushing off his talent. And also saying the talent thing also seems to be a generational thing. Like, I know anybody that's like my parents' age would say talent, and I am not about to correct them at their age. It's just they don't know the difference. They won't care to correct it, most of them. And I know they mean well. So it's just one of those things. It's like, you know, what can you do? Oh, I feel you, Ursa. One of my glasses lenses is like a Coke bottle bottom. My left eye is so bad. Legos! Yes! Legos, that's great. Yes, monocles. I love it. So raspberry leaves are jagged, but for all the leaves I've drawn an outline of kind of what their furthermost aspects go to, so that when you actually, you know, start filling it in, if you really wanted to get consistent, you could put an inner line in too, and that inner line is where you start, and then the outer line is where you finish, just to make them consistent. And that can help your image look a bit more cohesive, you know, if you want to go that route. But that's a stylistic choice, that's a personal preference, all that stuff. Honestly, I think I liked the way I did it better without the inner one, because then I tend to stay shallow. So I will do that instead. So I like the jaggies to be more shallow. Yeah, like that. There we go. Better. Hi, Shaladron. Oh, and Kristen. I've got you both. Oh. We're liking it very fine. We lucked out. This new place is great. The only crappy thing is we have a lot of stuff. Everything's a mess. And we had to spend like $5,000 to get everything up and running because we didn't have a washer, dryer. All our electrical needed to be fixed. There was like $2,000 in electrical repairs. That was stupid. That was so stupid. Anyway, and there's other things we gotta fix that we don't have to fix right away, but oh my god, we have to fix a lot of stuff. But the house itself and what it can offer us in the long run is great. Just for right now, it's a lot to think about, so we're trying not to think about that. Which reminds me, Patreon, anybody who is a patron of mine, please check your inbox. I sent messages and I have updates all on there. Please check that out, because if you get a Devoted Dandikin ATC from me, I need to know something. Messages. But anyway, the house is great. We love the city. We love the neighborhood. We love the room we've got here. It's just a mess right now, and I hate unpacking. I almost hate unpacking more than packing. I don't know. It's hard. But it's extra hard to do art when you've got your art everywhere. Like, I've got some of my supplies here, but then some are in another box somewhere else, and you try to keep them cohesive and, keep track of them, but when you move, everything goes everywhere, and you try your best. So, we're doing our best. Gabe is almost at the end of this issue that he has been, like, non-stop working on. And then I think he can get back to your painting, Sheldron. I'm pretty sure he's at that point. So he's on the last 2 pages right now, I think he told me this morning. So, we put on your own, get ready to have breakfast. We are not worrying people. It's just nice here. Aww, tell Fritz he's a sweetie. Cavendish, thank you for telling me that. They discouraged anything that wasn't academic. Now they show my art everywhere. It feels like they're taking credit. I could see that, Kat. That would feel like they they're just jumping the bandwagon, like whatever is working, instead of actually believing in you when you believed in yourself, That would feel kind of backstabbing. I could totally see that. Tell Fritz, yes, we had our 3rd truckload that we did on Wednesday, this past Wednesday. We had to get 3 trucks, okay? The first one was a 27-foot truck. That was for all of our furniture and all that stuff. That was a 2-day-long packing process. That sucked. And then the next truckload we had to get was strictly shipping supplies. It was... You'll never feel more stupid than when you're shoving, like, air pillows for shipping and bubble wrap into giant, like, garbage bags. I felt like an idiot packing supplies. Anyway, that was the second truckload, and then there's a third one that was, like, non-essential stuff, but that needed to come anyway because you gotta take everything. So we ended up with 3. And it felt like a video game because, like, the first one was kind of easy mode. You're doing Tetris and you've got a lot of space to use. The next truck was smaller, and then the third truck was the smallest. So it's like harder and harder levels. It was just funny. Anyway, so it took all of April for us to get out of there. So I didn't draw for 2 weeks straight. It was hard. I was sore basically the entire month. My hands, like, I ended up getting just these streaks of just sores and cracks on my knuckles. It rained, like it poured rain the first time we moved. So we had to wear ponchos when we were taking everything out, and things were getting wet, furniture, all that crap. The other 2 times it was drizzling. I don't know how we luck out with this great stuff all the time. The last time we moved, it was a blizzard and -4 out. Like, I don't know. Either way, we're happy now. We're here. It's going to be great. We will not have to move. I mean, unless something unheard of happens. And if so, I'm coming to you guys, because that's the 11th time. And I'm done. Like, if that happens, nope, something's wrong. I don't know what to do then. Oh, it's nice your mom apologized, Kat. They don't always do that. Yeah, and after we had moved, we looked up how much movers are, because we're like, oh, I'm curious, how much would it have been to get actual people to move us, because we've never done that. And, like, I've moved 10 times in 10 years. I've never had movers. And we looked up, and it was like $250 an hour with a minimum of 2 hours. And I was like, thinking about how many hours it took us to load. Granted, they'd be quicker, but there's no way they could get everything done in 2 hours. So you're guaranteed to pay over $500. And we're like, we do not have that kind of money. Oh my God, no. So that was not an option. Did the music get more and more upbeat while packing too? Like the music playing now or just music in general? Did it just like crescendo while I was talking about it? Careful, Mars. It's the most surreal thing. There were maybe cast of 20 characters, various parts, a few minutes, and then disappear. Wow. Oh my God, there was a pregnant mover lady? Oh no. Oh my God. Oh, Kat, I like how you worded that. That's so sweet. Are you guys invested in your relationship? I love that. I really wish my mom was still around. So we could have, I feel like if she was still here, we could have probably patched up everything that we had problems with, and she would have been a pretty cool older lady. Like, and we could maybe go shopping or something, but both my parents were not the types to make amends or anything like that. Like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure a lot of what I'm trying not to say too much, but also give enough information, which is difficult. They're both drinkers, and my mom died from cirrhosis, so she drank herself to death, basically. And, you know, they had the personalities to go along with that. But I'm pretty sure my dad got some sort of mental handicap sort of deal from how much he drank. So it's not like he could kind of apologize to me for, you know, my childhood or anything like that, because, you know, if he's mentally unstable or not right anymore, he doesn't remember that, you know, or anything like that. So I kind of wish I was in your court, Cat, where I had the option to kind of do that, because I think I would. I think I'd want to make amends with them, but at this point in time, it's impossible. Because I feel like it's like dealing with like recovering drug people or people who want to, when, you know, they don't necessarily stop, but it's like you have to walk away at some point for them to not affect you anymore. Even though you care, there's a point you have to walk away, you know, for your own well-being and all that junk. So if anybody's, you know, going through that and you've tried to help somebody over and over and over again, the last thing that you can really do that can maybe help them is to walk away. Because once they realize that you're not there to kind of pick up the pieces, assuming they are aware that you're leaving and all that, you know, then that can help. It's kind of a last, like a Hail Mary. It's your Hail Mary play. But yeah, that's kind of all you've got left at that point. I like that you had a cast of characters, though, Cavendish, and that you noticed it. That was really cute. Oh my God, was she ripped, Cavendish? Like she's able to move your bed herself? Odie Nation. Wouldn't that be a little bit weird though if there's a little turtle here, like, and they're the size of bunnies? Like, I feel like, I don't know if that would really work, you know? Because then there's a scale thing going on. I mean, I could do whatever I want, but I don't know. I don't want the turtle to steal their thunder. They're having a moment. Oh, you insist. Well, I'll think about it. There is such a thing as composition, and if I did not plan for the turtle may not look good in there. So I'll think about it. I'll see if I can actually do it. Maybe if I replace the basket with a turtle. Maybe. Maybe. That's good, Cat. Yeah, make sure to save yourself first. Oh, wow. NP, I'm glad she changed her ways once she saw you were serious about it. I think once parents kind of see that you're serious about it, they might shift their tone. So, granted, that's not everybody. I would just hope it would be. And negotiation. I mean, what else can you do? Oh, really? Cavendish, that's so weird. You'd think there'd be like a set amount of people that would show up and, you know, maybe they know each other, they work together or something. It sounds like people are just calling like, yeah, I can only do an hour, okay, come in. And then they do, and then they leave, and then someone else comes in. Like, I'd be afraid of that. Plus, I'm really weird about my things. Because I am an only child. I have very only child-like traits. And I'm a Capricorn to boot. Put that together. That's a recipe for a nightmare person. Anyway. So. Oh, I want this to be like that, I think. Yeah, that works. Okay. Let me think of how I want this other side to go. She's got her other ear. My favorite thing about lop-eared bunnies is you can usually use their ears as like hair almost, you know, which is pretty fun. Oh my god, a piano. Oh my god. Wow. We moved our treadmill, which had to be close to like 500 pounds. That thing was ridiculous. Granted, it doesn't move, like it doesn't, I think we broke it. But we didn't do much, you know? But yeah, I don't know. Oh no. So you moved it and then you just donated it? That's crazy. I would hope that she trusts you though, Kat. Like, she knows you're smart, so I would think if you left your job for an art career, I would think she would trust that you have enough to fall back on with that. You know? I mean, that's a mom, right? Oh, a few years. Okay, that's good at least. They rolled it down the stairs? Oh no. Was it a pretty piano though? Oh. Was it a stand-up player piano or was it like a grand piano? What kind of piano? Odie, I probably won't do the turtle. I didn't account for it in this. I know I could add it if I wanted to, but this was supposed to be kind of a mother-daughter moment scene. So if you're here the next stream when it starts, I will draw you a turtle. That'll be next Saturday, okay? Oh, it's a stand-up? Okay. But flipping it upside down? Why? What is the point of that? Goodness. I don't even know why they would decide to flip it upside down. They were not prepared, obviously. Does anybody here think they're gonna join into Journey June? Just out of curiosity. I think this year I might actually make a different account for it. Just because the past years I have just spammed the crap out of my Instagram and they're all thumbnails and kind of rough. So I think I might make an account specifically for it this year. Yeah, Zling. Yeah, cat. What's that? Oh, NP. Have I got a spiel for you? So, Serenity has so nicely put the command in for it. So, Journey June mainly takes place on the Instagram account, but there's a Facebook and a Twitter too. Majority of it, though, is on Instagram. Good night, Serenity. Thank you for being a good mod. I love you. If you've ever wanted to write a story, and let's say you're primarily an artist, but you have stories in mind and you want to eventually do them, and you've never written a story before, this is almost imperative you try it. It's I'd say a must. It'll teach you how to make a story start to finish. It's free. It's just one of those month-long art challenges. It's based on the hero's journey. And we take all 30 days of June and we've broken it down into a story formula that follows the hero's journey. So June 1st, we tell you exactly what you need to draw and think about and all that. And then the next day we tell you what to draw and think about and focus on, so that by the end of the month you have a full story with all the ups and downs and everything, and you've just had to think about it a little bit, certain parts day by day. We also have workshops that we kind of do throughout, also free. Just have to come to it, be diligent about it. The first one, though, starts in May. It's a heroes workshop, and it's usually mid-May to end of May, where we have you basically design your hero that you're going to take on this journey through June. So, we want you to use something that's completely new, you don't have any ties to it, a character that you just mainly want to see where they go, right? You like their design, you're like, okay, let's take you on the journey, right? So you make your hero. June 1st starts, and you can either do writing if you're a writer, if you're an artist. You can do thumbnails. You can do one image per prompt. That's the minimum. But if you're a comic artist, you could do panels. You could do a page. You can do as much or as you want, as long as you just do one thumbnail or image per. It does not have to be finished. We actually highly suggest it's just rough sketches or thumbnails. We do not want you to do finalized illustrations at all. Like, we highly, highly discourage it. Because basically you're making a rough draft for a story the entire month. So we want you to be able to change anything that you feel needs to be changed after you've known the story. It's a first rough draft. It's supposed to be rough. It's supposed to be messy. It's supposed to be you trying to figure out the story for this character. So, maybe you get 75% of the way through the story and you're like, shoot, I need to change this one thing on day 2 for this part to make sense. We don't want you to have spent 30 hours on an illustration, right? So if you've just done a 15-minute, sketch or even a thumbnail, that's no problem. Just change it when you do the story later on. Then by the end of the month, when you've got a full story, We have a survey you fill out where you're like, yep, I did all the days, blah, blah, blah. And then you get to earn a class that teaches you how to make a book. So that ultimately what we want you to be able to do, make a story, start to finish, polish it, figure out what you need to do with it to make it actually what you want it to be. And then we teach you how to turn that into a book. This is also free. All of this is free. We're just doing it because we really want to help people. And the other half that runs it, that's Galvasaur. He is Gabo. He is a comic industry professional. He's been 20 years in the industry. He's worked for Image. He's done some work for Marvel, some work for DC. He works at Oni Press primarily now and does a lot of freelance work. So he's a comic artist. He has that side of it. He usually has his own workshop through June where he talks about how to make a comic. Because if you do plan on making a comic, we don't want you to go into it making a comic. What we want you to do is get the story first, and then you'll take that story and break it down into all the panels. And he'll explain how to do that and everything like that. So that's part of the way through June. We'll talk about that. But if nothing else, just go follow the Journey Through June account. Again, here are the links. And leading up to June, we'll announce when that Heroes Workshop stream is so you can design your hero, what hashtags to use, other workshops we'll have during, the whole time. But during that free publishing class, we teach you how to do a digital book, we teach you how to do a staple bound book, and we teach you how to do a perfect bound book. So those technically break down to being different amounts of money that you can spend. The digital one, free. You don't have to spend any money to make a digital book. Pretty nice. And unless you don't have Photoshop, then it's like $10 for 1 month. For the staple bound, that one is like a zine. So typically it involves staples and paper. And the third one is self-published. And we tell you some websites you can go through to actually get your book made through printers. Now it is self-publishing, so it's not through an actual publisher. It's just you taking your files to a site that bulk prints books so you can sell them on your websites or what have you, conventions, things like that. So we teach you how to do all three of those. So whatever suits your situation best is how, you can take it and go with it. The problem that I had seen when I first started writing stories was that, okay, let's say I finish the story. What do I do with it then? And the fact that I didn't know how to do any of those things made it so I didn't even finish a story for, a while. Then I had a friend, Gabe, which is funny, tell me how to do that. And then I did that. And then after that point, it's like, you can make anything into a book. It's super easy once you know how. It's just no one ever tells you how. And I think a lot of the time that hurdle keeps people from actually creating. So because of that, we wanted to help people because that was kind of my holdup for a long time. So definitely check it out. Well, make as in InDesign or make as in bind and stitch. So the saddle stitch is physical. I wish I had my books. We just moved. Usually I have them as a visual aid. But it's saddle stitch is basically taking paper, folding paper, stapling it, right? So that's the middle one. Perfect bound is the one that's got the glue binding. It's really nice. It's like basically any professional book, right? And then the digital one is we tell you how to format it in Photoshop so that people can't steal it, but so you can have it online so people can buy a digital copy. Because I think a lot of the holdup with people not making their books and selling them as digital copies is because they're afraid someone's going to just steal it and print it. That's not typically how that works. And there are things you can do to combat that so that even you feel safe putting it up so nobody can steal it. So, oh, you're a bookbinder. So there you go. So we teach the bare minimum of how to do that. We don't go as far as to teach you how to glue it and everything. I've taken bookbinding classes too, so It's not that intense, but we tell you what like what bookbinding companies, so people that actually print and bind books, which ones to go through so that you get a good price, so that you're not making too many. That's another thing. You don't want to just order 100 or more of these books right away. You know, low quantities, usually they're minimum, so that you don't put a ton of money into it right away until you know it's what you want. Oh, that's awesome, Kat. That's great, NP. So, like, let's say that you went the hand-bound route, the second option. Because usually we just tell people how to make a zine. But Gabe actually tells them this one way where you don't need, like, staples at all. And it makes a little book about this big with one sheet of paper. So that one's really cool. He teaches that one. Then we explain how to collate. How to make it so the pages, when you print them, are the right order they're supposed to be. We go through the entire process of it so that, you know, you feel really secure doing it. We're not just like, oh yeah, just take some paper and staple it together. No, there's a whole thing with, you know, margins and binding and bleed and all that stuff, you know, with the cropping even. We talk about all that and how much to leave. So it's important that if you're going to print it yourself, you know about that. And if you're going to get it like professionally printed by a book company, you also know about that. So we go over it, and it's pretty cool. So that way, if you did actually make a story, you can actually eventually hold it in your hands. So that's our ultimate goal for even offering this class, I guess. We want people to be able to hold their stories, because there's absolutely a magic to that. But yeah, feel free to, you know, spread the word about it on Instagram or Twitter, what have you, because the more people that do it, the better, because then it's always really cool when July rolls around and you go look at the hashtag and you see how many new stories have been created in a month. I always find it really inspiring that so many people just made new worlds, made new stories, made new characters, made new everything. It's all original. It feels so good just to be part of that sort of atmosphere where all these people were working to create the things that they saw in their head in real life at the same time. There's just something magical about that to me. So I always get really psyched. I don't know. It's my favorite time of year. It's like Christmas for me. But really, it's just cool to see so much creativity. I mean, the other art challenges are cool. Like right now, mermaids going on, right? Like if you look at the hashtag for mermaid, everybody's making mermaids, and that's cool. This isn't so much a illustration challenge as it is a storytelling challenge. It's more about, and we've had writers do it too. You know, it doesn't have to be artists. It can be anybody. Anybody who wants to make a story of any kind. You can follow this. And it's just so cool to see it happen. And it's hard. It's not an easy challenge. I'll be honest. It requires a lot of thinking. But it's one of those things where I swear if you sit down 5 to 10 minutes and just kind of think about just this thing every day, you'll have that story. I can almost guarantee it. But a lot of it does fall on you. So, I mean, start thinking about what kind of a hero you'd want right now. Just don't go too much into, like, their backstory or anything like that. That's not as important right now. What's important is just designing them. So thinking about their occupation, like the area they live, like the area or the era, you know, those sorts of things. Those are important. Don't get too crazy, because the more details you think about, the harder it's going to be to write according to the prompts, because the prompts might actually break some of the things that you had decided on. and then you're not going to be as pleased with the outcome of the story because you didn't exactly follow the template. So I know we have some rules for this, but they're for good reason. You know, there's logic to it. It's not just random. Mushroom, cute. Oh, I feel you. Yeah, Dragon Wall. Thank you again. I'll try to get your piece out this week. Thank you so much for coming. It was so good to see you. Oh my god. I'm so glad about that. Yep, just think about the main character. Nothing more. We don't want you to go thinking you gotta figure out the story right now. We try to make it as low-key as possible. You only have to think about certain things at certain times so you don't get overwhelmed. That's another big part of this. Is I feel like whenever somebody wants to write a story, they usually just putter out or something because they get overwhelmed. Little chunks at a time. It's the biggest advice I can give. Little things. If you start thinking about too many things and you're like, it's going to be bad, right? Little things. We just want you right away to make a character you're super hyped about. That's going to have the best outcome because there's going to be a time during the month where you're going to look at your story and your character and you're going to say you hate them. You're going to say, why am I even doing this? I don't even like this story. I don't like this character. I don't like what's happening. We have a whole section of a workshop for when you get to that point because it's inevitable. It happens. What you typically want to do is remember the reasons you got into that character. Remember why you fell in love with them. What were the things that really excited you when you first designed that character? And you're going to want to remember those things. And you're going to want to bring them up to yourself later and be like, oh yeah, oh, and that part's so cool. I love that about them. That's going to help you push to the end. Because there's always going to be that time where you have that doubt. You have to accommodate for that's going to happen. It's almost like a relationship. You know you're going to have ups and downs in a relationship. So you need to remember during the downs what to do about it. How to reassure yourself. You know, if you really want to stick this out, if it's worth it for you, what are the things that are going to lead you through that? Exact same thing. So it's pretty good. Where to start when thinking up a character? Yeah. What are your favorite things to either draw? What are your favorite characteristics that a character can have? What are your favorite traits, either personality or visual, that you want to have on them? Like in this case, for me, I fall back to these sorts of things a lot, like baskets, ropes, organic things, some bit of mythology. Like if I make a character like that, I'll be happy with it. We just want to make sure that you design a character that tells a little bit about its world. So let's say, I'll use my old one for example. The last Journey June story I did, which was 2 years ago, I didn't get to last year, but I've done 2. My first year was intense. I'm actually going to make that one into something. The second year, could still, maybe. But that one, it was a clover. It was actually this girl. This one. This is a clover pit. It was all her story. So she's actually a clover flower up here, and her little dress skirt thing is a clover. From top down, she's a 4-leaf clover. And she carried around a spoon. And the wooden spoon told you that she's got a job. That's her job. She has a spoon in a basket, similar to this basket. And the fact she is a tiny creature that's based on a clover tells you, okay, this is going to be kind of a micro world story, right? We're going to be looking at things very small. It's non-humanoid, right? So it's not a human. So we know most likely there's not going to be any humans in it. So you can get a lot out of the world from the character. And that's really why we have you focus first and foremost on the hero. The hero builds the world around it. So a lot of the time when we give these workshops, we talk about how world building is actually kind of bad, at least right away. What you end up doing if you build the world before you build the characters, you end up making a cage, right? You're like, well, they have this kind of economy, they're in this kind of planet, they're blah, 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 blah. Too much, right? To where when you start trying to make these characters, they're like almost lifeless because they have all these things that have to fit into that society, right? So we don't want you to think about that at all. We don't want you to think about that world really like anything like that, currency, any sort of like, no, just the one character. You will build a world off this one character, and it'll feel pretty cool. But we have to show you how to do that. And that's not easy, especially if you're not used to it. So the most I can tell you right now is focus on you and what you like to draw. And if you don't know what you like to draw right now, it's kind of imperative you figure out a couple things. Maybe try to notice what kind of things you always add into your work that you enjoy. Florals, maybe you like elemental characters like rocks and dirt creatures, or maybe you're into mages and witches and things. Really think about the sorts of things that always crawl into your art. You know, they're always there. Those are the things that most likely you will be able to draw over and over and over again for a month. Okay? That's the other thing. Drawing the same character over and over again. Make sure they're simple enough. You will kick yourself if you don't. No. In fact, if I have to be honest, I would say like drawing a human is a bad idea. Mainly because they're so intricate and people end up being too worried about the anatomy. That's not what we want. And remember, if you're going to do it, you know, we want you to make like really simplified versions of things. So if you draw a human, have it be like this. You know, don't sit there and try to draw the forearm and the shoulder and how this connects to that and the other thing. That's not important right now. Like, that is not important at all. That's not where we want you to go with this. Anatomy be damned. It's not about anatomy. This is not an illustration challenge. This is a storytelling challenge. Just remember that. So as basic as you can keep it, because remember, no matter how rough you do it right now, you can always make it better after the story's written. After the story's done, you can absolutely go back. We encourage it, but for the beginning, we want it to be so rough that maybe even just you understand what's going on. That's all that matters, okay? We're just there to lead you through the story, through the month. That's it. Oh, good. Kat, yes. Start writing it down. You know, get excited about it. Maybe get a little sketchbook that's specifically for it. First page, say our hero, and write down all the traits you want them to have. Even if you don't want to draw them yet, start writing those things. You know, maybe they've got anger issues, or maybe they have a soft spot for monkeys. I don't know. Things like that. Like, you know, you can, if you even want monkeys in it, I don't know. Yeah, because that'll help you get psyched about it, and it'll kind of make you feel committed to it too. Sometimes that can really help with projects. If you have a certain thing that's designated for that thing. I don't know why I said monkeys. I don't personally like monkeys. They're one of my least favorite animals. Don't tell anybody. I don't like them. I don't know. There's like one kind of monkey I like, but it doesn't even look like a monkey. I don't know. I think it's because monkeys look too much like humans for me, and I don't care about humans. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Alright, back to this. But yeah, if at any point you're like confused about anything during Journey June or about Journey June, just ask me. I will be happy to answer whatever you need. If something doesn't make sense, ask me. And then that self-publishing class that we were talking about, that happens in July. So after June, what usually happens is you have a week to finish. So if you, for whatever reason, fall behind, right? Let's say you fall behind during June, a couple days, right? We usually ask that you get ahead, if anything. Don't polish any drawings. If you end up like, all right, I finished today, and you're still feeling it, keep going. Do the next couple days, right? It's all there for you. Like, all we do is repost the same things basically every year. And we also have a level 2. So if you've ever done Journey June and finished it, we have level 2 for you now. It's harder. Anyway, but we suggest that you get further ahead just in case you end up falling behind at some point. You're still on track. But if for whatever reason, because things happen, whatever, you fall behind a few days, you have a week after June ends to finish up the story to be able to apply for the class. Because the class ends up, if I'm right, in the middle of July sometime. So you have at least the first week of July to cinch it up. So, yeah, they do. I know, Cavendish, right? That's exactly my point. Something about bipedal 4 limbs I just don't care about. Something about it. Oh my god, that bow is so cute. I would never wear a bow myself. Maybe I would. Okay, I'd wear it once on my hair, but that's it. But drawing a bow for these is way too cute. I love it. I'm gonna draw another one over here, I think. But where? And I mean, if you don't care about the publishing class either, and you just want to follow along and whatever, do that. Honestly, it's just there because we wanted to help people. So if you don't even, participate in the community aspect of it or anything like that, that's totally fine. For anybody who's used to being a lurker and wants to keep lurking, you're more than welcome to do that. We are more than happy that you do that. Whatever suits you best. We just want you to try to do it because I think you'll get something out of it. And it will help you. I don't know if I'm going to get to coloring this. Maybe. I'm having a lot of fun just drawing it though. Think about what I want in the background. I think I might just do other raspberry bushes. That makes the most sense. fleck in the paper. Oh no. Oh, gotta work with it. I haven't figured out exactly how I like drawing raspberries yet. I've drawn a ton of them, and I still am not sure how I like them. I know I don't like them completely detailed, so I like to hint at where they kind of start and end, and where their like little pillows are. But I think I'd rather not draw it in and just hint at it with when I start coloring it. So I'm going to loosely draw in the pillows so that when, you know, I actually draw over it with colors, I can hint at it. Kind of sucks because I usually stream on Saturdays, so right now it feels like a Saturday to me, but I need to know it's a Sunday. It is not a Saturday. I think I'm gonna put yeah, that should go in there. I'm gonna put some fabric around this basket because I just feel like these characters would do that. So in prepping for Journey June, think about how characters think of things too. Like you're gonna have to try to get inside a character's head. And if you're not used to doing that, you can kind of practice it. Like just look at things around your house, or like maybe outside, think of a bird and what they're, you know, if they were a human or what have you, just a character, what would they be thinking right now in their current like situation? You know, and some people do this naturally, making fun of animals or things or situations. I mean, maybe you do this and don't even know you do this, but it's a good exercise for storytelling because then it's easier to inject yourself into a character and understand what they're thinking, you know, because it's not what you're thinking about them, it's what they're thinking at the time that they're doing something. And that can take a little bit of practice, I guess, to get used to that. And it's easier for some people than others. That's true. So just in case you're not one of the people it's easy for, you want to try and, you know, get better at it. Yeah, absolutely, Kat. That's one of the things I think artists always do, and storytellers. You could even take different aspects of your personality and focus on that. Like if I wanted to take my angsty anger side, I could make that into its own character, you know? So if there is a part of you that you feel, you know, you want to explore or you know really well that you could base an entire character off of, sure. Absolutely. No reason not to. Because really, a lot of the time when it comes to art or character creation, you will call upon aspects of your personality. You know, it's the easiest inspiration we have. And it's your experience that will make anything you create stand out from anything anyone else does. And this is something that I usually try to drive home during Journey June too, because people get hung up on the idea that their stories aren't original. Know that nothing is original anymore. If you think that everything has been done, and if you feel like, wow, what do I have to offer? Think about the fact that the way you were raised, your situation, everything about you is completely different from the next person. Even if they had, the exact same situation and everything than you. If you have different, let's say even disorders, mental disorders, emotional disorders, anything like that, even that puts an edge on your stuff because your perception of reality, your perception of people, all of that is different from the next person. So if 10 people randomly chosen got given the same prompt to write about, every one of those stories is going to be different, right? Just because those people had different upbringings, they had different people in their lives influencing them. All their influences and inspirations are always going to be different. So you're always going to get a different story, even if it's the same idea, we'll say. So if you ever feel kind of, I guess, discouraged by the fact that, I don't have an original story, maybe at face value it looks like that. But once you start digging into it and injecting yourself into it, that's really what's going to make it stand out. That's going to make it unique because, whoa, you're unique. Yay! That whole thing. So just remember that. What you bring to the table is different than what other people bring to the table. And it always will be, Yeah, and like Cavendish said, because you have that connection with whatever it is, like if you've been in a situation that you're writing about for a character, you will have that much more insight about it than somebody who's writing about it that hadn't been in that situation. So writing about what you know is typically what writers do, because that will make it stronger, because you know it. And this is another reason why research is so important with some things. I can't tell you how much I've learned, because like every month, because I'm doing those monthly stories on my Patreon, I figure out an idea, because basically I am writing a story a month on my Patreon. So I think of a character, right? And it's usually a little creature of some kind, and typically they have a job in nature to do. Sometimes it's something else. But whenever I think of these things, I then research the crap out of it, right? I figure out what things I like about that thing. And then I extrapolate on that. I'm like, well, I like, the fact that this could be a thing, this could be a thing. How can I make those work together? Is there something that can play into it that it exists in real life to make it even feel more real? Stuff like that. And learning about certain things. Like when there was a guardian I had that was a dandelion god, basically. He was in charge of all the dandelions, and when they close and then transform and reopen, that was his job, was to tell them when to do that. And his name was Papoose, because Papoose is like a Latin variant of dandelion, somewhere in there. Like I learned that, and so it makes it all that much more full and complete and cohesive if it has roots set in reality or in an actual experience, So it's important. Research is so important when it comes to things. And even if you do know something, it never hurts to kind of brush up on it, or, look up what other people have felt regarding it. Because, like, let's say you have a character that's been in a certain situation, and it's because you've been in that situation. But let's say the character has a friend that's also helping this character, but maybe you didn't when you were in this situation. So maybe you need to look up, how other people have handled it, so you could write their experience into it in such a way that would assist that character. The only problem is you got to remember not to take it too personally, where this character is you, because anything you make should not be you. It's an aspect of you. And I think this is an important thing to note when you're making art, so that if somebody critiques your art, attacks your characters, things like that, that you don't take it personally like they're attacking you. They're attacking your characters, sure, your art, okay, but not you. And I think in college, when a lot of people, or even high school, were making art and they would get critiqued on really harshly and things, then they'd get really defensive and, oh, you don't know anything about my character or my art, because they felt like it was them. You have to remember to separate, and that goes for if your art, if you think it's crappy, right? If you think it's bad, you have to remember your art is not you. You're not crappy. You're not bad. You may have drawn something that's utter shit. That's okay. Because you might draw something great the next day. Your art does not denote your caliber of person, right? So, knowing that you had a bad day and that art came out bad, that is okay. Even masters have bad art days. Maybe you wouldn't see it, but maybe in their head they're like, man, that is not my best. That is not good. But that's okay, because a lot of the time they'll just be like, I wasn't in the mood for drawing that, or today was a bad day. Tomorrow will be better. Just know that, because that's important. I think too many younger artists or newer artists tend to take it like, oh my god, I suck. I'm the worst. No. You might be having a hard time, or maybe you gotta brush up some of your skills in a certain area. But that doesn't mean you're a bad artist. It just means you're having a bad art time, which everybody has, That's awesome, NP. So that helps. That's definitely, because you would know parts of a sailboat and things like that other people wouldn't know. So if you're doing a story about a character that sails, you have so much more of a vantage point and things to talk about than anybody else that just briefly knows some things about sailing. I know the boat tilts to the side. Put together a calendar for photos of cats, sell them, and donate the money to a cat rescue. That is so sweet. We collect all the photos and then vote on which ones are the best quality. It's so hard to remind yourself that you're voting in the picture and not the cat. Wow, yeah, that is interesting. Oh, that's tough. Yeah, I would have a hard time with that. Because I bet you get a lot of people saying, oh, that cat's better than that cat, instead of that photo is better than that photo. That is interesting. That's a good point, Cavendish. But very much in the same vein, yeah, as the art thing. Granted, you did not create your cats. I don't think. But you know what I mean. Okay, back to this. Does anybody ever have, their hearing drops out every once in a while and there's a ringing? Does anybody have that? I have that. And I wonder how bad that is. Because I know it can't be good. There's gotta be something kind of uh-oh about that. And yes, I used to play music too loud when I was a kid. I still do. But man, right now it's still kind of ringing. And it happens randomly. Not necessarily in a particular ear, which is also a weird thing. Hi, Thev! How you doing? Oh, you guys get it too? What is that? Should we be worried? Am I gonna lose my hearing? What is that? Sometimes this gets difficult. Drawing a leaf as it's curled over a certain way. Oof. You know, I wonder if I should color this next stream, because then it'll be for Mother's Day. I kind of wanted it done for Mother's Day. We'll see. Maybe I can make a time lapse of it, or do the rest of it sometime in the week for another stream. Let me make this part. Skirts are a lot like flowers, with how they match up with the top of the skirt. It's interesting like that. Ah, true, Cavendish. That's a good point. That is a very good point. I remember last stream we talked about how you have to make an effort to make things look random, and that can be really difficult. And if you're like me, you might screw up sometimes and accidentally make a pattern because you have to try to not make a pattern, and trying to be random can be difficult. Honestly, it can be very difficult. Let's see. I'm gonna hint at the background. I'm not gonna actually do the background like fully. It'll probably be more like a silhouette. I will be right back. I have to go to the bathroom again. Hi. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that I'll finish this Tuesday or Wednesday. Maybe Tuesday. No. Yeah, Tuesday. I'll stream at 2 p.m. CST. So, what time is it now? 3 hours ago on Tuesday. And then I'm gonna sell it. And if anybody gets it, I could potentially have it to them by Mother's Day. Because it's a Mother's Day piece. I feel like that's important. So, I think what we'll do right now is kind of finish blocking in these pieces. But then I'll color it. And full color it. Like I'll color it marker and pastels. Full the rest of the way. Another day this week. So that way I'll get in 2 stream days, which I don't usually do, and which might be fun. What say you, watchers? Because I mean that could be fun. And I'll show you real quick a method I use after I get these blocked in. To push them back in the space. Because I mean Tuesday's good, right? Nobody does anything on a Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Plants like, are they all like this? Oh, they are. Interesting. Those leaves get really big. No, Thev. No. Probably another 10-ish minutes or something, not the very end. But we did start like 3 hours ago. Typically I stream on Saturdays, so yesterday. But yesterday I had some technical hang-ups, so I postponed it to today. But I'm thinking I'll finish this another day this week. And then since Mother's Day is next Sunday, I could potentially sell this by then, before then, and then somebody could have it as a gift for their mom by then. Because that could be cute, you know. But we did this whole thing on the stream. The last stream, last Saturday, we did this one. So if you want to see this start to finish, that would be last stream before this. Oh, Thev, you're so sweet. Thank you. I'm glad you think so. This one, no. This is actually a Kohl Erase Brown. I very rarely use regular pencils. I actually find that using a colored pencil when sketching actually makes it more fun. Here, I'll show you. Hold on. Oh, it was in March? Oh, Canada, right? Canada? Yeah? So, yeah, usually I use a brown. You can actually see the difference. I used a mechanical pencil on the border here. See how that's different? And Thank you. Oh, and this. Are you watching my stream? You're not even in it. It's right there. He thinks that the camera was where it used to be. Oh. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. UK. Okay, cool. So, like, yesterday I was outside sketching. This is now, I've updated the way I want to draw snails. Okay, just so you know, because I finally figured it out. This is how I want to draw snails now. But I just drew a snail for fun. And then for those that were on here in the beginning of the stream, this is that little cow fay I was talking about. Cow fay. It's a cow. Cow fay. Cow fay. I might do something with it. That's a little cow fairy. And then I was just drawing a bunch of other crap. But like this one was drawn with a Col-Erase Tuscan Red, which is typically the one that Gabe uses. He usually uses this color. It's like a red-purple, sort of. But mine is usually brown. So you can see, you know, it's brown. And on the tone paper, it fits in nice. But sadly, they look the exact same when you hold them next to each other. Like, it's so minuscule. Even if I had the best camera in the world right now, this is just a hint more red. But, amusing. Cute. Oh, moose. Anyway, so yeah, instead of drawing with a regular pencil, which nothing nowhere anywhere says you gotta do that, these erase, you know, these erase just fine. You got that, you erase it. Yeah? Yeah. Just don't use the black Col-Erase or the white Col-Erase. They do not erase. I don't know why. They're just horrible. Honestly, the white Prismacolor Premier, which is a soft color pencil, that erases better than the white Col-Erase does. The white and the black are just ridiculously waxy. Don't use them. Don't use them. Use the Premiers instead. The Premiers actually say Premier on the side. I wonder if I've got one. Yeah. So this says Prismacolor Premier black. This is the good one. Don't get Prismacolor Col-Erase black. That's the bad one. But other Col-Erases, like Gabe usually uses, like he uses the blue Col-Erase and the red. He has a lot more of a saturated palette he uses than I do. It's really funny because as artists, we're both very different. He loves saturated colors and teals and pinks, magentas, all those sorts of really high techno contrasty colors. I'm the opposite. I like natural brown sepias, desaturated colors. It's really funny. Anyway, so yeah, if you're one of those people that draws too heavy, too quick, I highly suggest doing, lightening up a bit if you can. So if you've been watching this the whole time, you'll see that I draw something really lightly, like maybe 20% of what it ends up being. Like this was not this dark when I first put it down. Typically, I will put something down and it'll be like this light, right? You can't even see that, but I can see it pretty good. And then as I kind of rough it out, think of it like sculpting more than drawing, right? If your paper is a block of clay and you're peeling away at it, the more and more you draw on it, the more you're carving away. So the darker it'll get, the more you're confident with how it looks, right? So if I was drawing like a snail head here, let's say, so his eyes are here, but then if I was playing with the smile and how I want the head to be, can you even see that? Right now it looks a little dirty. It's probably gonna look dirty actually. Not my intent. Not meaning to do a phallic snail, but here we are. And then do that. So the more sure I get about where things are going, the darker I can make the lines, right? And that just kind of goes for everything. But, you know, think of it like an 80-20 rule, right? Draw lightly for 80% of your piece and dark for the last 20. As soon as you know where everything's going, you know, press the pedal down, I guess. Then comes in your lead foot. Because otherwise you're going to have a hard time erasing. You're going to have a hard time keeping things lively. That's the other thing I noticed. For people who draw too heavily, typically a lot of the life of the pieces is lost. You know, as you're digging into the paper, it's like you're killing it. Don't kill it. Don't kill it. Ease up. So if you're, you know, a lot of people do, you know, their curves and they're light and they're airy, and then once you figure out, you know, where they are, then you can come in and you can draw and outline the width, right? Here. Oh, speaking of my Clover cards for this month, I'm going to give you all kind of a sneak peek, I guess. I'll show you what this month's Clover card is going to be. This will be this month's Clover card. Look at that giant link! Here, I'll even pull it up on the screen. So, what are Clover cards? Well, if you're domestic in the US or you're international, you can get the physical Clover cards. They're technically little ATCs, so they're like trading card sized. And they're $4 for US, $5 international. And they come with a story on the back. So I'm trying to bring it up here for anybody who can't see. So this will be this month's Clover card. It's a little leafy windmill isometric watercolor. I was doing a bunch of isometric watercolor chunks. I might go back to these because, oh my god, they're the one thing that I could just draw and draw and draw and draw and draw like forever. I love isometric chunks, and maybe that's the game design side of me, because I was in games for a while and it's just the assets for isometric things and just perspective chunks of assets. I love it. Anyway. Cat, shut up. I love you. So if anybody's interested in this, go to patreon.com/Cloverkin and look at the Clover card tier. And that should tell you everything. No matter what tier you join that's at the $3 or up, you're going to get all the digital rewards. This month, I am doing a whole thing about my white tools I use, because this always seems to be a thing on every stream. So the things that are here, this, how I use white, like I literally use, and I will show you, all these white tools on each one of my pieces that's untoned paper. And I'm even missing 2 right now. I don't know where they are, but I'm missing 2 more. But I will tell you what each of these is for. I swear to God, they each have a purpose. And there's 2 more. There's a Sakura pen and... Shit, what's the other one? Oh no. Okay, the Jelly Roll's here. So there's 1 more that's missing. 1 more. But they each have a job. And it helps with this sort of thing. So if you're interested in that, you'll want to at least join the $3 tier, because that'll get you all my digital stuff. And you get to have like a calendar, colorable calendar page. There's a calendar itself. There's a digital wallpaper every month. And there's tutorials, all those sorts of things. And I do work in progress GIFs of a lot of the pieces I do. So that's all really fun. Things I don't actually post on my Instagram or online at all. I find I just forget. So when it comes to social media, I kind of space out. But my Patreon gets the nitty-gritty meat of it. So if you're interested in that, check it out. Let's see, for this, we're almost there. I'm gonna do a couple more of these berries, and then we will come back to it on Tuesday at 2 p.m. CST. So since I'm leaving soon, is there anybody who has a burning question they need answered, or if they're curious about something? The stream originally was supposed to be about Patreon, and if you're starting your own Patreon, so if anybody has any questions still about that or art in general, let me know, because we will be ending soon. I don't know what it is, but like the minute I start like giving the berries their actual little pillows, I'm gonna call them pillows. I don't know what they're called, but the bits of a berry that are pillowed, where they look like furniture, like upholstered furniture, where they got the little, oh my god, that'd be really cute. I want to make that. Hold on. If there was like a little sewn raspberry, right? And these were buttons. Oh my god. Oh my god, I want to make this. Oh my god, that'd be so cute. Oh, I can't even. Anyway, back to this. What was I talking about? I got hung up on upholstered berries. Who does that? But yeah, I don't actually like drawing the detail on the little pillows. The minute I start doing that, I'm like, I don't want to do that. That's, I don't know, I feel like it'll ugly up the berry. At least for this style. If your style is to be detailed, that's just going to make it better, right? But if you have a simplified style, it could look really out of place if something is too detailed. And I think in this piece, the most detailed I get here is these bows. It's okay to have a little bit of a sprinkling of detail if you have a very simplified style, but if you do it too much where it's like 50-50, then it gets confusing because it almost looks like a clash of styles, you know? Oh, as a dress, like a raspberry dress, that would be very cute. Oh my god. I really like textile art. Like if I wasn't doing 2D like this, I think, other than sculpting, because I did sculpting for a while too, I really wanted to get into textile art. Like, one of my favorite textile artists is named Mr. Finch. He's on Instagram. His work is amazing. I wish I could own some. Here, you can even Google him and he comes up, but his stuff is so cool. Here. Check him out, Mr. Finch. He also has a legit website, which I probably should have linked to first. Oh yeah. Oh baby. Oh cool, he's got bunny moths. Damn it, I thought of doing those too. F. Well, his are amazing. And they're 3D, so. But I really like just how rugged they look and real and just kind of ancient almost. There's like an ancient look to them. I love it. Oh, if I could do this, I would. Technically I can, I just don't have the time. Once I have the time, I swear to God, I'm gonna dig into doing this shit. I'll probably do it on my stream too. If I do any new creative endeavors, I'll try to document it here with you. Because what fun is it if people can't watch you fail at something new, right? Right. Because sucking at something is the first step at being good at something. I read that somewhere. I don't know who originally said it, but I thought it was a damn good quote. Alright, I think this is prepped then to color later. So, as I was saying, if you want to push something back that, you know, you've drawn in, at least with pencil or like a softer medium like pastels, pencils, maybe that's it. Yeah, well, whatever. If you're using any of those, if you want to push it back, take a kneaded eraser. These are the ones that look like gum, right? They're kind of ridiculous. If you do get a kneaded eraser, do not keep it around like you do other erasers. I keep mine in this little container because since it is very gum-like, it will pick up everything. It'll pick up pencil shavings, it'll pick up eraser shavings, it'll pick up lint, it'll pick up other gum, what have you. So keep it secret, keep it safe. And then you kind of just blot and twist, you know? And then it'll push things back like, I'd say about 50%. At least it looks that way. So that when I color these, the actual pencils won't be as prominent. Because what happens when you draw things lighter in a scene is it pushes them back in space. You can have the same effect with line width too. The thicker the lines you make on something, the closer to the viewer it is, or it'll appear that way. So these are all things you have to keep in mind when you're drawing, because they all affect how your drawing is perceived. So not everything is done with color. And I think that's one of my favorite parts of not using color so often, is that you have to figure out other ways of showing depth. And one of the ways is line width. The other way is line opacity. Opacity meaning the opposite basically of transparency. So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully that helps. And things that are less contrasted or less saturated are going to be pushed back as well. Anything that you make super saturated will come forward or look like it's in light. So they be hitting on everybody. Okay, so mark your calendars, set a reminder, because I want you here with me to finish this up, because I think it's important. Because you were here when it was birthed, you should be here when it graduates, we'll say. So Tuesday, 2 p.m. Central, which it's almost 6 p.m. now, so that would be 4 hours ago, but on Tuesday. We'll do it then. And we'll pick colors and we'll render it out. What else? And then I'll sell it. So if anybody has their eye on it, honestly, if you let me know now, if you do want it, I'll set it aside for you and you can lay claim to it. It'll probably be around 80 just because it's going to be a colored piece. So if anybody likes it and is going to want it for their mom, if your mom likes jackalopes, you can technically do that if you want. At that point, it's like a half commission. So I'll ask you what colors you would like, because maybe your mom likes purple. Then I will make the dress of the mom purple. Stuff like that. So if you are interested, message me and you can claim it now. Otherwise, I will put it up on my store Tuesday after it's done. You can get it done. Alright. I had fun with this one. It went a totally different route than I was expecting. Honestly, I was thinking it was going to be mice, just because that's easy. But I'm glad you all suggested the jackalope, because I think it turned out much more interesting because of it. And I'm pretty grateful for that. So, Tuesday. Alright? I hope you all have a good week ahead of you. Try to stay positive, even if terrible things are happening. I mean, acknowledge that they're happening, acknowledge they're bad. If you need to take a minute to cry, do it. That's fine. But remember, things get better. Everything bad is not forever. And get hyped for Journey June. Okay? Mid-May, we're gonna do the hero workshop. So I'll put that again in here. You're You're welcome, Thev. Thank you for coming. I miss you. Thank you for being here. So anyway, I will see you again Tuesday. And if you're not here Tuesday, I will see you on Saturday, 2 p.m. CST. All right? You can always Google 2 p.m. CST and it'll tell you what it is in your time. Totally cool. Anyway, have a good week. Thank you for being here. I love you.